The World Tomorrow. The Worldwide Church of God presents
Hey, oh,
Woo, all
I love the rock
right.
music, but I cringe at the same time. Like, that was fun. Hi, Aunt. Hey, JJ. Hey, everyone.
Hi, welcome. So this is the third one. It's working. Nancy and I have been reviewing episodes of The World Tomorrow on our UnPack-It live TV. And The World Tomorrow was Herbert W. Armstrong's television arm of his propaganda network when he was running the Worldwide Church of God, where Nancy and I grew up. So yeah, how you doing, Nance?
Doing great. Shout out to Aunt Jer in the comments. She got the Book It reference. That's awesome. Yes, it's a play on the Book It, like from the 80s. Is that correct? And you turned it into the Unpack-It, which is also kind of a play on words for David C. Pack. One of the splinter churches. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for seeing that. I had a little bit too much fun making that logo back a few months ago. Good times.
You take his old content and you put rock music over it and be like, this is some bullshit, right? I know.
I think it's a worthy plan.
You look darling, Pat. Look at you in your little elf hat.
Oh, yes. Look, there's ears. I like yours too. I like that you and I can't just do
little reindeer.
I know. We can't just do Santa hats.
Nah. Got to go a little extra mile. Awesome. Yay. I'm excited for this one, Pats, because it's Christmas stuff, which, you know, I haven't really gotten into over the years since we weren't raised with it, but I kind of like it. It's festive.
Well, I feel like that's a big part of this. And the reason that we wanted to do this, because for those who didn't grow up in our cult, it's important to know that a really big deal that like set us apart was the fact that we didn't keep Christmas. So, and we talked about it really negatively. Like there was a whole lot of like, I don't know, scoffing, would you say?
Yep.
Scoffing and like holier than thou kind of stuff when all the Christmas things would come out. And as a kid, it was like, oh my gosh, it's all so pretty. All the colors and lights and presents. And like, wah, we didn't get to have that.
What psychological fuckery was that as kids? We see all the other kids getting presents and having fun for the holidays. And here we are like, no, we're God's chosen ones and we're forbidden from doing it. But we're elect. Like we're going to a place that they're not, apparently. So it's okay that they're having fun and we're not. Because they're going to burn in a lake of fire. Eek!
But at the same time, if we believed in the Santa thing that all of our friends believed in, like the fact that we didn't get presents. Like there was that whole thing that bad kids got coal instead of presents.
Yes.
Right? Like, okay, but like think how classist that is to begin with. Like impoverished children feel like they're bad.
Yes.
Right? So like we had it because of our religious thing, but like in general, that whole idea is kind of messed up.
No, it's really messed up. And like
Right.
families that can't really afford to get presents for their kids, kids are taught like you don't get any presents, it's because you were bad, so Santa's not going to give you any. Ugh. Why are we teaching that? All
Right.
marketing, I understand. And I do kind of understand where Herbert W. Armstrong, our cult leader, was coming from, because he was a marketing man. He knew how marketing worked. And yeah, I'm not completely on board with the whole marketing thing, but I mean, what isn't marketing these days? Yeah, but yeah, War on Christmas. Oh, holy shit! I'm sure we'll touch on that too, because
That's true.
yeah,
Did it
yeah,
even I don't
it
think it was called that then though, was it?
no, the whole concept of War on Christmas these days is literally just the name itself. Merry Christmas. Like greeting, like somehow Christians feel persecuted every single year. We hear it come up. This war on Christmas by saying happy holidays, which is really just being more inclusive, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, why would you say Merry Christmas to someone you know is Jewish? You don't.
Right.
I mean, you don't even have to say Happy Hanukkah, but you don't say Merry Christmas to them if they don't celebrate it. I don't know. That's why I like the whole Happy Holidays thing. Like, whatever you're celebrating for whatever reason, go ahead and fucking do it. It really doesn't matter. But
I think my favorite though, like to be a little sciencey about it, is when Christians pull out he is the reason for the season. I'm like, no, no, he's not. Like, if you really want to go there, axial tilt is what they say is the reason for the season.
I mean, we did have an episode about Christmas pads. I forget which episode it was. Was it like the third audio recording we did on this channel?
The fourth one.
Fourth one. It was early on. And I actually revisited that today. I was listening to it a little bit as I was getting ready. I'm like, oh, we did all the research. So like we looked up, okay, where does the term pagan come from? Because that was Armstrong's whole thing. We're like, we don't celebrate Christmas because it's a pagan holiday, which is really funny because I've been seeing these memes lately in like social media, like Threads and the new Blue Sky, about the term pagan, and people won't celebrate Halloween because it's pagan. But guess what? Christmas is too. And that's why we weren't raised with it either.
Yeah.
And we had to go through this whole crap about, okay, what does the word pagan even mean? Because as children, we did not know what pagan meant. Mm-hmm. It was weird to people that we didn't celebrate Christmas, and yet we told people we were Christians. We were a weird sect of Christianity. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Not weird. The true ones.
I know the true ones, but how do you explain that to someone and be like, I'm actually a chosen one of God? But yeah.
I need to let you know something.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of terrible.
Tilt reason for the season. Yes, get merch for that. Fuck yeah, NJ. Yep. I always say the reason is whatever you want it to be. Christmas does not hold sentimental value to me because we were not raised with it, but I do have a lot of fun with it. Seeing the pretty lights, getting to wear stuff like this, it's so fun. But yeah, whatever you want to do. I don't put up a tree. I don't do anything. I usually just take a trip. I hang out with friends. I don't think there's a literal Jesus necessarily. There may have been, but he may be a mythological character. So as not to bring trees in your house and decorate them.
That is so funny to me. If anyone knows that scripture, I'd love to see it because I have heard
think Aunt Jer, you know what? There is a passage in there that says something like not putting like silver and shit on a tree. But then didn't the passage go further and it said like it made us to believe it was some sort of an idol. I could be wrong about that. Okay, Jeremiah 10 is the one. Yeah, I should have looked that up because that's literally the passage from the Bible that our parents were told in the cult as to why they did not celebrate Christmas.
Okay, I can read it.
But if you read it further, it sounds like they're actually talking about an idol. I think we had this discussion in our early episode, did we not?
I don't remember.
Otherwise, I don't think there's any other reference to Christmas. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think that's the only one that even comes close.
Oh, I can read it. I can
Yeah,
read it.
let's go through it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jeremiah 10, New International Version. I hope that's acceptable to everyone.
No, you have
Okay.
to get the true one from the Word of God, whichever
Which
the
one is
fuck
that?
one that is.
Who
The
says?
true word.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, this is weird. It's been a while since I read a Bible verse. All right. Hear what the Lord says to you, people of Israel. This is what the Lord says. Do not learn the ways of the nations or be terrified by signs in the heavens, though the nations are terrified by them. For the practices of the peoples are worthless. They cut a tree out of the forest, and a craftsman shapes it with his chisel. They adorn it with silver and gold. They fasten it with hammer and nails so it will not totter, like a scarecrow in a cucumber field. Randomly specific. Their idols cannot speak. They must be carried because they cannot walk. Do not fear them. They can do no harm, nor can they do any good.
Wait, so are they talking about actual like graven image, like idols here, and not a
It seems
Christmas
like
tree?
it. I think
'Cause
that's
you
the
can
way
read
I've heard
further.
it explained by scholars too, is that it really is talking about like a carved idol and not like setting up a tree in your house. But I mean, the way Christians use the Bible, like, why wouldn't they see it that way? Cut a tree out of the forest, adorn it with silver and gold. I don't know. Yeah.
Because
But that's the beauty of the Bible. Like,
the
it
beauty.
can be vague enough that you can be like, yeah, that's totally a Christmas tree. Or, no, that's not what that means. They're talking about idols like the heathens.
Yeah,
Do
heathens fell
whatever
in
you
the same
want.
category of pagans. Hey, Andrew,
Right.
thanks for joining us, honey. Yeah, but literally, you stop at that passage early enough, and it's talking about idols after that.
I
But
don't remember Armstrong using this, though he probably could have. I guess we'll see. I haven't watched this episode in a bit.
all that Armstrong talked about was that pagans celebrated it, and therefore we did not, because we are not like the pagan. We are not like the heathen.
Right.
Boo. No birthdays, no Christmas, no nothing except Thanksgiving.
That's right. That's right.
But there's a whole
Eh.
history behind the origins of Christmas too. I mean, Christ Mass. Gee, who gave it that name? Yeah. But
Yeah.
you know, winter solstice before it, and yeah, what is Saturnalia? There was a whole bunch of different names. Hi, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yay,
Well,
that.
thank you very much.
Yay.
Did you see the ears?
Yeah, and I got the antlers. It was so. I brought a Santa hat from a friend, and then I saw the antlers on there. I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Yay, having fun tonight. It's Friday the 13th, y'all.
I know, it's kind of a perfect moment for this.
Yes.
Norse deities.
Norse deities, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're far more badass, aren't they?
What do we got? Odin and Loki? Are those are both Norse? Or am I mixing that up? Because there's the Norse and the Welsh ones are very similar.
Isn't Thor part of Norse mythology as well?
Oh, see, as Odin and see, this is where I'm not going to know my stuff. Odin and Thor are the same, but like Odin is the Welsh one and Thor is the other one. I'm seeing a yup. Maybe that's that. Okay.
Yep. Good. Let us know, because Odin, the All Father, yes. Like I think Vishnu is the one for Hinduism. Yeah. Like there's always a top deity, right? And then they tear off from there. But well,
Tyr. Tyr is one of the Welsh ones. You said Tyr.
Oh. I don't know that one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know my gods. Wow.
Tyr? Yeah. I don't really either. I try every now and then. Oh,
Odin
okay.
is Thor's dad. Okay, yeah.
We've got it. We've got it. Look at all the learning we're doing. This is totally an educational moment.
Come on, Pats. We're supposed to be into history, you know.
I
We're
know.
supposed to know these things.
Doesn't mean we know everything off the top of our head.
Oh.
All right. Well, we don't have to start it yet if you still want to keep chatting, but we do have an episode tonight that is called The Plain Truth About Christmas. And there was a whole little series of books within the Worldwide Church of God that was like The Plain Truth About. And it was basically saying, here's this normal standard thing we do in America, and here's all the pagan things behind it. So you shouldn't do that. You should follow me, right? Mm-hmm.
Should we clarify what pagan actually is?
Is it possible? You go
I
ahead
believe
if you
that
would like
comes
to.
from the word paganus. Yeah, Frigga, mother goddess. Yep, I recognize that one too.
Frig.
But the way I understand it is pagan was anything that was not Christian. The people working in the fields, basically farmers, and it's not just necessarily Christian. The term is someone who's not a part of whatever the popular religion is at any given time. It just so happened that the term became popular when Christianity came onto the scene, and therefore we didn't know what it meant as children. We just knew it was equated with something evil.
You know, and I kind of got the impression when we looked back to see what it was, that it was almost like calling people a hick.
Yeah. Or uneducated. Right? You know, a lot of these people working out in the fields, they would probably not have spoken the language, right? They probably were illiterate, couldn't read. And so they didn't really understand, like, oh, we're supposed to convert to this religion that you're kind of forcing upon me. Because I think that did happen. Like, people were either killed or tortured into converting as well. I mean, a lot just did it because they felt they had to, or they did believe it and moved over to Christianity. But
that was the way of the world. When a people group was conquered, they had to start worshiping the gods of their conquerors, right? So that was why
that's
what the heck was the guy Genghis Khan? Like, he was weird for that. Was it Genghis Khan, or was it
might have been
Mongols? Or the Mongols? There was one of those that, like, it was a big deal that when they conquered, they didn't force everyone to follow their god. They, like, allowed the people groups to keep their own religions.
I mean, good for them. That surprises me, actually, that the Mongols allowed. I mean, what did the Mongols worship? Or did they not even have?
I know we're getting out of my depth here on history stuff, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, everyone. We got Maya now. Hello, dear.
I know. Hi, Maya. Thank you for being here. So cool.
But yeah, sorry to go off on another tangent, but I just wanted to clarify the word pagan because that had a lot of influence in our childhoods. And we knew not what it meant.
Right. Knew not.
It really just came down to that, though, why Herbert W. Armstrong did not celebrate Christmas. And he was a total buzzkill. He didn't like fun.
He didn't like what? Fun?
He didn't like fun. Well, he liked to have fun, but he didn't want his members to have fun because that meant spending money. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I know this video is going to have all kinds of shit with, like, Christmas marketing and Herbie not wanting people to spend their money on this. No, give it to my church.
Imagine why.
Yes. All right, let's watch this mofo.
Yeah, shall we? All right. The plain truth about Christmas.
There we go. All right.
Okay. All right, let me make sure it you can hear it and everything. Here we go.
Why Christmas? Why do people observe it? What keeps Christmas going? plain truth about Christmas. It will open your eyes.
Open your eyes, Patti. You might not be intelligent enough to understand what he's saying. He implies
Well, what do you
it all
think?
the time.
What do you think so far?
Yes. Well, we know exactly where he's going with this.
Does it look
So,
fun though? I
yeah.
would have thought that all looked so exciting as a kid. All
Mhm.
of the packages and everything. Like a present wrapped is seriously like the best thing ever in kid world.
Right. Yes. Hey,
Mhm.
David. David Ward's here. Hi, honey.
Oh,
Awesome.
hey,
Okay.
welcome.
You are also former Worldwide Church of God. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna skip the little intro music here just in case. That
I'll
would
just
get me in some
copyright. Okay.
trouble.
You don't want to see Armstrong's private jet? The Gulfstream 2? Oh, here we go. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Here we go.
Okay.
Herbert W. Armstrong.
At this season of the year, there's a phenomenon that is playing a big part in your life and the lives of other people all over this world. I refer to the phenomenon of Christmas. Why Christmas?
Yeah.
Why do people observe it? Why does it occupy such a great portion of their life and their life interest?
And their finances. All right.
You know that's where he's going.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Well, there's
So this
David.
is like a
Hi,
regular
David.
sermon here. Yep, David Ward, you didn't celebrate Christmas either, huh? David, do you celebrate Christmas now? Yep, capitalist holiday. Yeah.
I mean, you know what, Andrew? Like,
You're not wrong.
It's funny how that's a thing that Armstrong really railed against, and it totally sunk in for me. Like, I don't know. I do kind of get a little ick up in my stuff about how we do that with money and capitalism and merch and everything. Mwah.
Oh, there was a lag, and when I said Herbert's private, oh,
Oh, here, let me put that on the screen.
how gross would that be, right? I could talk about Armstrong's flog log, but that would also be going off on a tangent. But I'm sure you know where I'm going with that, so I'll let you.
Mm-hmm. Merry Christmas to him, huh?
You.
Okay, start again?
Yep.
Okay,
Like an official sermon, huh?
I guess. I know, we haven't seen, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Why is attention centered on it almost wholly for at least a month prior to Christmas, 1 month out of the year? And many people are spending much time in the 11 months previous to that in thinking about and planning for Christmas. There are Christmas savings plans, all kinds of things, and planning for it.
Hell yeah.
People seldom stop to inquire in retrospect why they believe the things they believe, why they do the things they do. They don't know how they came to believe what they do. You might think about that sometime. How did you come to believe the things you believe? How did they find lodgment in your mind? You have convictions. You would argue to uphold your own ideas, your convictions, but how did you come to those convictions?
Interesting question.
Well,
I mean,
right.
These are the moments, though, that if you aren't willing, if you aren't willing to, like, believe the next thing he's about to say, and you just stop with that question, that's really quite viable. You know, to think, how did I come to believe the things I believe? I think it's a great question, and one we should answer for ourselves.
Yeah. And David Ward is saying here too, if you're not enculturated in it as a youth, you don't necessarily have a reason to adopt it as adults. I agree. Yeah. I never really had. Well, and what does celebrating it actually mean? Do majority of the people even like think it's something related to Jesus's birth? I doubt it. They just kind of follow it like, a regular tradition. Hey, skeptic. It's here too. Okay. Yeah. Getting more socks for Christmas. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. There's
Oh,
aspects of it I don't mind, but I don't put up a tree. I really don't do the present thing. I don't know what it means to like celebrate it. Like if it actually comes down to some sort of belief or people just
I
do it as a
mean,
reason to party and there's
people talk
traditions in
about
place.
family, right?
Yeah.
Like a good time to get together with family, but yeah, it doesn't require us believing in Jesus. It's very strange. Um, Andrew, what's going on here after 2020 Christmas Eve? I'll be very curious to know more about that. I hope
Ooh,
that's
do
like,
tell us this personal reason to hate. Yes. Yes.
uh-huh.
Yes, socks. Who doesn't get
Oh
socks?
yeah, it's gonna be the sock episode.
Skeptic.
Hi there, skeptic. Nice to see ya.
Lego, that's not uncommon. Neil, the 604 atheist, would agree with you too. He's a big Lego fanatic.
Oh yes.
There is something to be said about getting a wrapped present, though. I can't tell you the last time I got a wrapped present, if ever. I really don't remember. And it is kind of something special where you're opening up like, oh, what's inside? Even if it's something you don't even need, just something frivolous. Like I mean, that's kind of nice. But I would prefer it actually if somebody saw something and be like, I think Nancy would like that. And then they just get it at drop of a hat. I don't want somebody buying something for me because they feel obligated just because it's tradition around a particular holiday. But
Yeah, the forced what is it? Forced fourth quarter profits.
yeah.
Like setting it up to make that go kind of makes me mad. It's true.
And maybe you have more reason to celebrate it because you have kids and maybe you want to start some kind of tradition. I don't know. I don't really have a reason to.
Honestly, I've really struggled with that with kiddos though. I know early on we had this idea of like keeping it simple, right? So
Mhm.
it was kind of in the crunchy mommy world of like
Yep, I
give
remember that.
them something to wear, something no wait, something they want,
Mhm.
something they need, something to wear, something to read. So like
Oh, I
and I,
like that.
yeah, and we have not stuck with that throughout, and it's gone through smaller and bigger present phases, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was a nice like I want to honor it and do this because it's our cultural tradition to give
Yeah.
presents, but like can we not go bananas with it, right?
Yeah. But I,
Yeah.
I like the idea of buying experiences more than just material possessions. Like
Mhm.
if I need something, I'll go buy it. I have so much like I have all the shit that I need. And if somebody said maybe buys, I don't know, a plane ticket somewhere or like a trip or an experience where you go to the zoo, go to an art fair, just spending time with friends or something
Sure.
educational. I like that
But I
too.
mean, but I think we have to recognize that that's a certain level of privilege too, to like that we do have the ability to have the things we need when we need it. You know, so I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here cuz I know what's going to happen in this show is he's going to get to that point of like pointing out how there's more crime at Christmas and he's not wrong, but like it's because there's this pressure to provide all these presents and make it magical, make it special. And
Yes.
like if people don't have enough privilege to be able to just go buy those presents, like it's like we talked about for the kids, how hard that is for the kids thinking they're bad because they didn't get all those good presents. But like, oh, there are
Mhm.
parents trying really hard to make sure their kids don't feel that way.
Doesn't
So
that kind of falls along the same lines of like, oh, if you're engaged, like the prettier, more expensive ring you buy your fiance, like the more you love them. Same with like wedding. If you spend a lot of money on a crazy wedding, yeah,
oh,
it's
I've
again
yeah.
marketing. Yeah.
Oh God.
Mm,
I know.
well,
What about real connection? Aw.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Oh,
maybe
here's
some.
the story.
Yeah,
Andrew.
I saw it. Oh,
Oh,
Sorry, Andrew.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that'll definitely color the way you feel about a holiday.
I have a
Sorry to
friend
hear
whose
that.
son died on Christmas too, so it like I can see why, you know, some people might not have happy memories for certain dates.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we can make some more pleasant memories by hanging out here at the Apostate Sisters, huh?
Yep.
Good friends, good connection.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yep. A lot of it comes down to gift cards. Absolutely. That is weird. The whole exchange of like, you bought me something that maybe I need or maybe I don't, and vice versa. Okay, we sort of cancel each other out. That was another thing with Armstrong too, Pats, is like this whole give, not receive mentality, right? Always
Yeah.
give.
The idea of get. Everyone wants to get.
And yet, if we give, somebody has to get. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, give and receive.
Right. I hope this is true, Aunt Jared, that most people recognize the problems of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I
Yeah.
think
I
a
don't
lot of
know.
people can find themselves in bankruptcy without really trying to. It's just they're kind of taught, you know, to go crazy during this time. And then you're out shopping and you see all this great stuff and you just buy. And then you don't realize what happened. And then all of a sudden it's fucking New Year's. Oh shit, what did I do? When you look at your
Oh,
budget,
no.
like, oh darn. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't that funny? I mean, we do say over and over culturally, like, it's the thought that counts. Well, if it really is, then like, hey, I'll give you $50, you give me $50, and we'll go buy a thing we want and say that it's from you. Is
I
that
don't
just
know.
the thought that counts? I don't know.
I'd rather just spend time with people and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, love you too,
Exactly.
Andrew. I wish I could do the little heart thing, but maybe
Oh,
Patty
I'll get
can.
it. I'll get it.
Patty will get it. Mine doesn't do it. Hey, there it goes. Yay. Hugs.
Aw, I'm glad that's helped you. I know, right? Like, isn't one of the biggest things we can all do for each other is like be good to each other and honor each other's humanity?
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes that might be all we need to pull us up out of our doldrums.
Yay. Because of this
Mhm.
podcast, Pats, which I love doing with you, by the way. We've met just some of the most amazing people.
I know.
Yeah, Feast or Tabernacles was our version of Christmas. Yeah, just like Diwali
Totally.
is sort of the Christmas version in Hinduism. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, David, I definitely thought of that or thought of it that way as a kid because it was when we got presents, except we still didn't get them wrapped, Nancy. Like, if we're saying how there's something special about having a present wrapped for
Yep.
you,
There really is.
like what we did was fun too, but at the Feast of Tabernacles, we would go to the nearest KT Toys or KB Toys or Toys R Us, and we'd just go shopping and we'd just put it in the cart. So no unwrapping. Yeah.
You know what I find kind of strange? These people that come up with the Christmas present list, like you check in with people like, oh, what does everyone want? And then it's like, okay, when you get them the present and wrap it up, you know what's coming. Like, there's no surprise at all. I don't know why I find that a little on the weird side.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I have known some families where that's what they do, that everybody in the family creates a list so they know exactly what they're going to get. And I mean, the benefits are people get what they actually want instead of like, oh, thanks, you know?
Which is what 9 times out of 10.
I don't know.
Thanks, Grandma. I definitely
I
needed
know.
another one of these ugly sweaters. No, I'm just kidding.
But I've also discovered if you're gonna have a list like that, it's kind of the place that you can put the things that are like, I would really like to have this, but it seems excessive. It seems like I don't really need it. Like, then you have a list, and if there's somebody who wants to get you something that really makes you feel special and is just a little extra that you don't need, that's a great way to go.
There you go.
But I mean, that's again from a place of privilege, right? So gotta acknowledge that.
Yeah. Ooh.
Aunt Jer, I don't.
Christmas relay stream. We'll have to look that up. I don't know.
Yeah.
When
Does
it is,
one
that'd
need
be
to be
fun, though.
invited to such a thing, or may I reach out? Do you think that
Yeah,
would
we
be
can reach
so
out to
fun?
Purple.
I
Yeah.
would love to do
Oh,
something with Purple at Christmas
Purple
time.
rhymes with orange. Loves Christmas. She's got all kinds of, or I don't know their pronoun. I'm sorry. Christmas. Loves Christmas. They love
Yeah.
Christmas. Yeah, baking. Yeah.
Baking. Yep. Good stuff.
Get together and
good
bake
stuff.
with someone. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right, shall we see
Oh,
what more
yes.
Herbie has to say?
Oh yeah, because I love that
All right.
voice of his.
I know,
Lay it on me.
It's just so nice to listen to.
How do you know that you are right and the other one is wrong?
Exactly.
We all have ideas, and many of us are like sheep. You might say sheep going to the slaughter. One follows another and doesn't know where he's going or why he's going that way. And that's about like most people are. We're just like dumb sheep, and we go along because the crowd does, and we don't know why.
I don't think he's wrong.
Like your fucking members, Herbie.
Didn't he call his members dumb sheep?
Yes, he did. I'm
Like
sorry.
directly?
He called his members dumb sheep. He said he has no respect for people that he can so easily manipulate. Yes. Of course he said it. Ugh.
All right. I agree. He isn't wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this comment though.
Hmm.
Cringe
Yeah.
gifts. Yeah, like gag gifts. That's hilarious. Naughty guys and ladies undies. I love it.
Fuck yeah.
The other one that I think is just fucking fantastic at Christmas time is the white elephant game.
Yeah.
Like where you bring some old piece of crap that's like, you know, sort of a trash to treasure situation. God, I just think that's the best.
You know what I think is funny though? Majority of people end up bringing nice gifts. I think they do.
That's true. Well, I
Those
don't
are always
know.
fun though. Those are always fun.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you do the thing where you like can trade and you know try to like steal them and everything. God, that's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in such a like materially abundant society that games like that only make sense. You know?
Yes. Yep.
Mhm. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, we'll check it. Thanks, Aunt Jer.
Mm-hmm. Let's do that. I love it. Thank you, Maya. Oh, Nancy, put that wine down. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, more.
All right, you want to hear more Armstrong?
Oh, nothing would give me more pleasure, Petty. Please.
Well, you'll be surprised at some of the answers.
Bet
What
we will.
keeps Christmas going?
The
Does it
magazine.
celebrate the birthday of Christ?
No,
Nor
Did
do we
the early church observe it?
probably
Did
not.
the apostles observe it and the first century church of God?
No.
Does the Bible teach it?
Doubt
You'll
it.
be surprised to find that the Bible says nothing about it whatsoever.
Okay.
That you can't even tell when was the birth of Christ. The Bible nowhere gives us an idea, except that it had to be. It could not have been in the winter. It could not have been anywhere near December 25th. It had to be not later than the early or mid-autumn.
Mic drop.
Ooh. I've heard that before, though.
But what keeps it going? It is the advertising of merchants.
Mm-hmm.
That is what keeps newspapers going. That is what keeps television and radio going. That's what keeps the magazines going, is the advertising. It's a commercialism. And commercialism is a means of getting your money, of wanting profit, a commercial proposition of what can we get, and that's what is keeping it alive. I'd like to read you just a few
Look at that
headlines
imagery.
that have been appearing.
Wait.
What is that?
We were just looking at holiday stuff, and that's like somebody in a prison cell with their hands through it.
I'm assuming he's going to go somewhere with that, right?
Eh.
Like criminal activity going up in numbers around the holidays? I don't know.
Might be onto something there.
Mm.
Let's see.
Herbie always did shit like that,
It
didn't
is
he?
a little jarring, though, isn't it? Well, and we know that Armstrong did not shy away from like horrible images. He loved using nuclear explosions in his show. He loved using like these drawings in the Bible story books that he had made of like people writhing in pain from boils on their skin or drowning. So like he kind of loved it. So I'm sure he loved taking everyone from shopping and glitz and glamour to like somebody in the stockades here.
I mean, fear is an incredible motivator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was all about it. He was all about it.
Indeed, indeed. All right, here we go.
Okay.
In newspapers of this season of the year, here's a headline: amidst holiday goodwill, police predict a record crime spree at
I like
this
the
time
music
of
behind
year,
it.
supposedly the time of peace and goodwill. Yule shoplifting to cost merchants $500 million. People stealing merchandise at that time of the year so they can give Christmas presents. Christmas may be the season to be jolly, but many people just grow despondent. Sadness is most prevalent at Christmas, psychiatrist says, at Christmas time, supposed to be the time of peace and goodwill. Another headline: Christ is forgotten at Christmas time.
Good.
That's the biggest problem, eh?
As I said, it did not appear into the Christian religion for 300 years after Christ in the 4th century.
All right. Do you have anything to say about the headlines there, Nance?
I mean, what he's doing is kind of like, again, psychological fuckery, where you hear this like Christmas music that everyone's familiar with, and a lot of times it brings some joy, and yet he just shoves someone in prison right in the middle of it with that music still playing. And he's like, yeah, think about what you're doing. Think about what this leads to. He knows what he's doing because he was an advertising man himself. And when it comes to advertisements, how are all of his booklets any different? All of the free booklets that he threw away. I think he kind of distinguishes himself because he gave all that away for free, thinking that, oh, maybe you should trust me because I'm giving you all this beautiful, colored, free literature with all the latest news and with heads of state and presidents of countries. I'm the ambassador for world peace. Look at me.
Well, yeah, I think that was why he railed so heavily against capitalism and marketing and commercialism and all of that, because then he could absolutely have that exact counterpoint that you're saying, but I don't do that. So you can't trust them.
Yes.
But
Hi,
you can
Joe.
trust
Kentucky
me.
atheist in the house.
Oh,
All right,
hey,
so
Joe.
you remember that video? It was focused on the family. We played that one for our masturbation episode that we released. And it did the same thing. The video showed all these kids out having fun, and of course they throw in STDs and sexual assault and all these things as sin when it comes to, experimentation. And so it kind of scares kids into going out and having a good time. Kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
psycho.
sure.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see the
Oh, yeah. It's like the most, it's just really good manipulation.
deviant outcast. Woo!
Oh, yes. It does make him Santa, but it's like bad Santa that just promises you something as long as you give him all your money right now. And then, that big red sack will come later.
Yeah. Just to
Like when you're
clarify,
dead.
Joe, Kentucky atheist, we did not masturbate to the Focus on the Family video. Quite
Excuse
the
me.
opposite, actually.
I miss. Okay, I'll get to that comment. Holy moly.
Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Sorry, I see the word masturbation. I'm like, zeroing in.
Oh, I know, Nancy. I know.
Joe knows our mind, or my mind. Yeah. Ex-wife.
Welcome, Deviant Outcast. Glad
Deviant
you were
Outcast.
able to make it today. This is only the 4th live we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because
So,
our
yeah.
regular program Unpack It with our friend Joel is on a bit of a hiatus right now, but we are enjoying the live feeds. This is great because then we can chat with you all, directly. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. It's been kind of fun
Hmm.
to get a little more up close and personal with people here.
Yeah, I'm excited for this Purple's Christmas relay.
We'll totally look into that.
Yeah, you wanna check on that, Pat?
I looked at what Pragmatic Crystal said. I said I will lurk into that.
Glad
to see you lurking.
Yes. Sometimes I do that too. I'll just say hi to people in the comments. I'm like, I'm here. I just have to cook dinner and stuff.
I know. So glad everybody could come. Good times.
Yep. Sorry,
What?
I'm reading ahead again.
Okay, yes. Hang on.
Speak of the devil into the live chat, yes. Lurk often.
Yes, apostate JJ also grew up in this cult, and that's totally it. I know the truth.
I know the truth. I'm gonna give this. Oh, that hurt my
Make
neck.
your hat go flying.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, no, we did
whoa.
not masturbate to it. No,
Am I blushing? Gosh.
it was absolutely the opposite. JJ's got stories about that because that traumatized him, that video, as a kid. I mean, to not really know anything about sex, and then you watch this horrifying video just scaring the shit out of teenagers to not do anything sexual. Rex Beavers, love your name. Oh, we have another WCG member here. Always go with a big.
I knew somebody would play off of my big red sack comment.
Yes, way to bring it, Joe.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck yeah. Now we're talking my language.
Oh my gosh.
Pragmatic Crystal. Oh.
Oh, hey. Rex, welcome. It's nice to have another WCG person here too. So glad you could be here. Yeah. Well, we aren't nice, that's for sure. So hope you're ready to poke some fun at Herbie and laugh along with us.
Yeah. Nor are we proper or professional.
Yeah, not really.
Right. I mean, why do I love the word beavers so much? That's amazing. Yes.
Oh, so funny.
Correct, JJ. Know your story, hon. Yeah, porn actor name.
Wait, what's that?
Which one are you referring to? The beaver one?
Oh God! Good thing we're not monetized yet.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true. We just couldn't handle the truth, could we, David? That's why we got away from Worldwide Church of God. We just wanted to sin, don't you know?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Deviant Outcast was there in the beginning. Oh, secondhand celebrity status without any. Oh, yeah. You mean to be along with Armstrong? See, I gotta keep up on these. I'm not sure I'm hitting them at the time that I know what it's still about. Celebrity status. Okay, I want to know more about that, Deviant.
I mean, yeah, if that's what you're referring to, there were some people that were in Armstrong's cult because they liked his status. They did see him as a celebrity, and he met people like Prince Charles and presidents of Margaret Thatcher even. So, I mean, he did that on purpose, though. He bribed people to meet them, but yeah.
Were the celebrities you're talking about? Wait, is that
Really?
what you really mean? Really? Oh.
Well, thanks.
Well, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh, yes. That's why you chose not to monetize.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We just can't handle God's blessings. It's just.
Joe, we got to get a little high and talk about that one, I think.
Yeah, you guys go ahead. Can't
Mhm.
demonetize the unmonetized. Yeah.
That is fair. That is fair.
I think it was what,
Right.
Jimmy Snow or somebody came up with a little icon, like a little demon, and then demonetize. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is kind of
That's
nice.
pretty sweet. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. It is kind of early on in the trajectory here, I'd say. Oh, Rex Beaver. Rex Beavers. Yeah, okay.
His
Took
whole
me a
life.
second on that one, y'all. Took me a second. All right. Oh, Grace Communion. Yeah. So that was a long time because it didn't become Grace Communion Church until 2009.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep, they kept the original Worldwide Church of God name because I think they wanted to see the doctrine change because of course they believed God made all these changes to shift it to actual truth. Not fundamentalism like Herbie was teaching, but then yeah, they got the Grace Community, and I don't know how big that church is now, but
Yeah. Yeah,
it
amazing
was
how
70
the propaganda just brought people in. Radio, TV, all of it. Not to mention the handsome and debonair Garner Ted. Like he really brought a lot of people in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe, I want to do that too.
Stone streams. Oh yeah, pick a topic and see where you go from there. It's
Let me know,
amazing.
buddy. Let me know. I'll light
Those are
one
the
up.
best videos going off on tangents.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna play more Herbie.
All right, do it.
Okay.
But before I go on with that, I want to show you a booklet that I'd like to have you write in for and receive gratis, no charge whatsoever, no request for contributions whatsoever.
Remember that
The
booklet.
plain truth about Christmas. There are many facts here. I won't have time to give them to you on this program. But if you'd like to know the origin of it, how it was observed up to 2,000 years before Christ, what it was called then, where people got it, all of the truth about it. It's an eye-opening booklet that will really astound you. It's really astonishing. Very few people know why they do what they do. At least it'd be interesting to know why you're doing it.
We're just
Write
dumb
in for
people.
this booklet.
We don't know why. He's such an asshole.
Yeah, the booklets. I
Yeah.
don't
Yep.
even know what to say about the booklets anymore, to be honest. This is interesting, though, Rex. So it sounds like Grace Communion Church just kept all the old stuff, too. Which makes sense, because otherwise they
Yeah.
would lose even more people.
I mean, that's nice that they did that. I can see why it would be hard for some people to believe and follow these rules their entire life, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, just kidding, you didn't have to do that your whole life. By the way, you're saved through grace, like all the other Christians out there. You're okay. And then have that mess with your head.
Oh, wait. Oh, Worldwide Church of God did. Oh, so maybe Grace Communion didn't let you do the old stuff, then you're saying. Okay.
Oh, maybe they did change. Along with the name, they changed a few things. See, our parents never followed. They didn't stay in Worldwide Church of God after the doctrine changes of like 1994 or so.
Yeah, they were
got
very
out
convinced by
immediately.
Armstrong. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
97.
They looked at him almost like a god, like so many people did. There were so many people that left. I often say our parents were extreme for the extreme.
Well, good grief. 62 to 2007. What is that? 45 years? Did I do the math right? No. Yeah. That's a long time. That is a lot of years of indoctrination.
Stoner logic.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, Patti is all about it. Yeah. I just because the name Rex Beavers made me think of this. I was in a store the other day and I saw this dude wearing a shirt that said something like, God, guns, and splitting buns. Or wrecking
what?
buns. It was something like that. It was so
No.
nasty. And it's like a skeleton toting a gun, and he's literally like doing some chick doggy style with a big ass. And you ever look at people like that, you're just like, yeah, that dude, I would never want him to split my buns. No way. Like, no woman ever would. Like, no. It's always those who wear shirts like that. I'm like, you're just God there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the splinters. My goodness. We have not really gotten into the splinters, but there were so many. Because, there was all the groups that had the right truth. There's the ones that, like, knew better than Armstrong. There's the ones that maintained what Armstrong thought in the 50s. There's ones that maintained what he thought in the 70s. Like, bleh.
Ones that are exact carbon copies.
I know.
Yeah, here's looking at you, Gerald Flurry of Philadelphia Church of God. Yeah.
Hey, Vonder, thanks.
And the one that went beyond, David C. Pack of Restored Church of God.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Dude, yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, Rex, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but we do have like a 6-part series that we had recorded, which is like kind of a historical timeline of the Worldwide Church of God and of Armstrong himself, kind of starting back from the beginning, like how the church was founded and then kind of where it ended up. So we talk about, different events that took place and where, all the splinters ended up. So if you wanted to check that out.
That's true.
I did a lot of research on that one. Holy shit.
You
Things
sure
I
did.
had no idea. It was fascinating.
Yay for 2-hour plus services.
Yeah, 2 hour plus. That is for damn sure. I think one went on 4 hours. It was gross.
I am there, Joe. I am there.
I like that idea, Joe. Yeah, watch religious. I mean, I would watch the documentary by Bill Maher, Religulous, again. It's been many years since I've seen it, but I remember that one being really good.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Night at the Creation Museum, Joe. How about that one?
Oh God.
Isn't that Eric Ovind?
Yes. Although Apologia and Shannon Q do such a good takedown of that I don't think. Yeah.
I think Forrest Valkai did one of that as well. And if he already covered it, I'm like, yeah, what could we possibly add to it?
Joe's into it though. You never know.
I mean, because you're so close to the Creation Museum, Joe, there in Kentucky. And yeah, they're doing you remember this past there, Joe, the crew are gonna go there and That's a good point, actually. You can cover it stoned. I'll be drunk because that's my jam, but
there you go.
Yeah, we can do it. Okay.
Oh, Rex. I went to Camp Orr. I was like 14, so 94, I think. 90, I'm pretty sure 94. I went to Orr, Minnesota to that camp. Good times. All right. There you go. I'll let that run while I play again.
Okay.
We do have a Patreon, y'all. You can become one of our sinful siblings.
Yay. JJ's already a sibling. Yay.
Yep. And Aunt is too.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
here.
Oh, Aunt.
Let's do that. There we go.
Yeah. And of course, Jason Freer.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. All right. Here we go.
With the plain truth about Christmas. We'll be happy to send it to you immediately. Now I have another booklet, and then I want to also give you a year's subscription to the Plain Truth magazine. We just want to give. We're not out to get.
Yeah, we don't want anything from you. Not 30% of your income, that's program. For sure.
But now let me give you a few facts on this program. First, Christmas does not celebrate the birthday of Christ. As I said, he was not born at that time of the year, and there's nothing in the Bible about it. In fact, the Bible shows that only pagans ever celebrated birthdays. Rather, in the Bible, we're told to celebrate
Oh,
the
Nimrod.
death of Christ, not the birth of Christ. The Passover or the Eucharist or the Lord's Supper, as different churches call it, celebrates the death of Christ, not the birth. You'll be surprised at some of those things. It was observed long.
Anything, Nance?
I mean,
remember
I
that
feel like I've
from
heard
being a
this
kid.
sermon before.
I know. Yeah. There was definitely a whole thing against celebrating birthdays,
Mhm.
even right down to Jesus's birthday. It's kind of weird.
It's weird. Well, I think, didn't it kind of come down to like, you don't want to be prideful or elevate yourself or celebrate yourself because then you're taking away from God? Something along those lines. How
Probably.
dare you celebrate yourself?
Mm-hmm. No,
All
I mean,
eyes
that's
should
totally
be
true.
on God.
Exactly.
Yeah, self-worship, some shit like that.
Right.
Oh.
How dare you be excited that you made another trip around the sun?
It's really sad, Pats, but I always used to think when I was a kid, if I'm happy, enjoying myself, I was doing something wrong.
Mm.
Like, I had to feel that angst and anxiousness and just anger and confusion. It's like that made me, I guess, good within the church. Like I was doing that correct. I was afraid to be happy, Pats, because it usually meant I was sinning or doing something wrong. It was
Well, right.
disgusting.
It's so sad. It's just so sad because we know we only get the one life.
I know.
Yeah. Rex,
And then
you're
look at all
saying
these.
what I'm saying right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is devastating.
It was a horrible feeling. And then we get connected with all these atheists and people that have broken free from religious control, and they're just so much fun to be around. I'm having such a great time with all these people, and I'm so grateful for it. I never want to feel that way ever again. Never.
Exactly. Exactly. I think this is a really valid point here, Aunt Jer.
It is. Yum, 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 yum.
Yum, yum, yum.
Get a little Jesus juice.
Little Jesus juice. Just a little slice of Jesus pie.
Oh, that's his body and his blood.
What?
What does his semen do?
Oh, God. No.
It didn't reproduce.
Oh, dear.
Hmm?
I said, oh, dear.
Oh,
Let's
Emma
see.
Thorne. Oh, I watch her too. Yes.
Mhm.
Isn't she
All right.
darling?
Y'all are inventing an excellent series here. We got to get the stoner shows going. I love it.
That's fine. I don't smoke, so I will just be drinking. You guys,
Substance shows,
Substance.
yeah. So on the other side of that, I've been thinking about trying to get some people together for a good old stitch and bitch also, but we could do a stoned stitch and bitch. I think that'd be fun because I'm a crocheter, so I could be on a live with a bunch of people knitting and crocheting. I think that'd be fucking fun.
Sorry, I just saw Joe's comment.
Oh, where? Which one?
This old fuck probably comes dust. Well, he's been dead since 1986, so yeah.
Ew!
Should we talk about the flog log now?
I'm horrified. Nancy, it is the moment. Talk about the flog log.
Sorry, I always go there. I'm just so disgusted though. But flog log, you can kind of figure what it is, right? There's a couple exposés out there written about old Herbie here. Like, we're talking, he had quite the following. His base was a bunch of, wealthy white dudes that followed his every move and ate up everything he said. Well, as the dude's getting older, which obviously he's really fucking old by the time he dies. I think he was 94, Pats? Right? Somewhere around there. There's just this weird thing where old dudes get kind of, they stop giving a shit after a while. He would answer the door naked, and I heard Winston Churchill actually did that too, which is really weird.
That's probably why Armstrong did it. If Armstrong knew that Churchill did it, that's probably fucking why he did it. because he was such a
And-
little like trying to be like the big dogs.
But it's like, yeah, they wanted their junk to be seen. Like they were so proud of it. But I believe this is true when in this one particular expose, and I'm sorry, the name eludes me. I think it's like Herbert Armstrong Exposed. But he talks about that Armstrong would often talk about his jerk off sessions and how he kept a log of number of times and dates and something like that. Yeah. That is the
Things I'm
infamous.
sure your son definitely wants you to say on the internet.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But the thing was, he was such a researcher and he logged everything like to a T. He was very detailed in that. So if there's at least a couple dudes coming out saying that he did this and somebody found the flog log after he died, oh my God, that's some juice right there.
Ew.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not
Came
literally.
out
Oh, that's
grosser
nasty.
than you.
Ugh, I'm gonna make myself gag. I wonder who found the
Oh.
flog log because holy shit, can you imagine finding like do you ever get asked by people like if you were to die, what would you be embarrassed about your family finding in your house or when they're going through your stuff or whatever?
Yikes. Yikes.
Rex, look it up. Armstrong's infamous flog log.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in Robinson's book, Herbert W. Armstrong Exposed.
I've never heard this term. Skeet sheet.
Oh, I don't know that one either.
Mm-hmm.
How do I not know a dirty word? Thank you for your wisdom. Yeah, measure the result.
Okay. Oh,
Count of
I'm
strokes.
entertained. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let me look up that book.
Yeah.
Armstrong Exposed.
So Rex, Nancy, and I have talked a lot about how we kind of saw two sides of the church because we were young children in San Jose, California, where it was kind of like a more wealthy area and more wealthy people at the church. And then we moved to rural Wisconsin, and it was like a little head snapping for how different the experiences were. Because like when we were in California, we went down to Ambassador Auditorium several times and stuff because our mom was from Southern California. So like we kind of saw both sides of that. It was very sad and interesting.
Yeah, every congregation was different. I did find that book, by the way. There it is. Armstrong like Tangled Web.
That's where the flog log was talked about?
One of many places, but that was the main one. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's all kinds of drama on Armstrong in this book. Flog log. How gross is that?
You know, that is a level of detail, Aunt Dear, that I have not considered.
You gotta wonder. It's like some
I guess
people track their turds too. You take a dump and then
that's
you
true.
like write description like what time, what did it look like?
I love that we have just turned the Christmas episode into another masturbation episode.
That's probably my fault. My apologies. My mind is.
I think Aunt Jer asks a very valid question here, though, because I have to admit that my not detailed about this topic brain was like just assuming it was like tally marks. Nothing about consistency or
which is really
anything like that.
interesting because Armstrong strictly forbid masturbation. Did he not?
He didn't. Well, he compared it to bestiality, so I guess take that how you will.
He put bestiality, masturbation, and atheism all in the same sentence. I remember.
And homosexuality.
And homosexuality. Yep.
Yeah.
Because why not just lump all that together, right? Tally. us.
Things I don't want to think about.
And yet we're going there.
Yeah. A lot of the rural congregations. Gosh.
Yeah.
Tallywhacker.
Oh, the memories in that place.
That's the one I was looking for. Is that why that word exists? Tallywhacker? I hope not.
Because you keep track?
Or,
I don't know. Isn't tallywhacker more of like a British term?
maybe.
Yeah, Bristol stool chart.
I mean, science. We got to do things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's something called like a poop sheet, which is more just humorous. I think there's a fart sheet out there too. Like, which one does your fart coincide with?
Oh, like like what was it? The crop duster and what were the other ones? That's right. Okay, we're gonna take that too far. No, I'm stopping. I'm stopping the fart talk right here.
Could last for hours. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Long before the time of Christ. It was a pagan holiday, and this book that I mentioned will tell you how it came into the Christian religion and why people are doing it, and how just merchandising and the pursuit of bigger profits and to get your money is keeping it going. Because advertising is the thing that keeps newspapers and magazines and radio and television going. It's all a commercial scheme. That's the kind of world we live in, and we might as well wake up to it.
Yep, that's bad. Sorry, I saw
I
the word
don't-
encyclopedia, Joe, and I'm like cracking over here.
All right, there we go.
I love you guys so much.
Keep hitting
Oh
the
my
wrong
god.
one.
Oh, that was great. Yep.
Yep. I mean, valid. That is valid.
Yeah.
And yep, capitalism. See, isn't it lovely how Armstrong figured out if you became a church, you didn't actually have to produce a real product? It's kind of great.
Well, the product you get after you die, Patty.
Well,
Convenient,
I just
right?
remember when I was a very good Christian and I did my tithing, I would get back like a tax form, that would tell me that I gave my money in exchange for intangible spiritual gifts or benefits or something like that.
Really? It said that?
So, yeah.
Interesting.
I know, good times. Yeah, tax-free.
Tax-free donated tithe
Okay.
money.
So here's something lovely that I think about this church. So they were great at being a cult while looking like a church, and it served them very well when, like in the 70s, they were being investigated by the feds for their their practices with their money, because they were doing some shit, right? Like shell companies and all this stuff. And so when the feds were breathing down their neck, they went to all the other churches, like mega churches, evangelical, Jesus people, whatever churches in the area.
Yeah.
And they got them all fired up with like, oh, you guys, we have to protect our rights as churches. The government is trying to take away our right to continue doing our religion the way we want. They're investigating us. You have to band with us to stop this. Yeah, they got all those churches in California to like get new legislation or something to stop the federal government from investigating what they were doing. So they were enough church-like and not cult-like that they were able to pull their same propaganda on other churches to get them to back them. Oh my
They
gosh.
were afraid they'd be next. Never mind that they were skimming millions of dollars. Stanley Rader. If anyone wants to watch a Stanley Rader interview on 60 Minutes, I forget which year that was, but holy shit, they had so many like dark businesses where he was hiding money and just millions of dollars. Yeah,
Stanley Rader was Armstrong's money guy that I never heard about. So he was definitely in the shadows or gone by the time we were old enough to know what was what.
Yep.
But yeah.
But he made Armstrong's money disappear in interesting ways.
Yikes.
Yeah. I saw a really cool meme the other day. Something about, you guys want Bibles in schools? Well, guess what? We want the IRS in churches. I thought that was good. Yeah. Yay! Hi, Buzz.
Oh, hi. Yeah, that's a very interesting point. I've never heard anyone kind of detail out more about that. That 100 people is an interesting caveat, I think.
Mm.
What do we got here? Huh. You remember the money investigation? Yeah, Armstrong was pretty smart at being bad.
It was like he was a good businessman, but yet he was a bad one. I don't know. He was a good con man. Okay, I'll say that. He was a good con man.
He was. Joe, you don't feel like you have to be too quiet, friend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I am laughing hysterically at your comments, Joe. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Bravo P. Hype Sigh.
Hello, Bumblebee. Welcome. Buzz. Jesus is big business. I wonder how much you could get per pound.
Hype
Right.
Side, we might be reaching out to you soon, love. We're looking at possibly doing some like biblical cryptids talk, or maybe, some UAP alien type stuff if you're interested. Figure you would be a great person for that.
Glad you're here.
Yes. Yeah, be an evil bastard. Yeah.
Do you? See, I don't know if I feel that way. I think there are kind of a lot of people who have really good intentions.
I feel like somebody like Durante Lamar had good intentions when he was a pastor, but yeah, and then eventually it starts to crumble.
Well, or is it that becoming a pastor turns you into a bastard?
I don't know. I often say pastors are failed businessmen because they couldn't come up with any ideas on their own, and therefore they use the Bible because it's the work of other men they try to improve upon. They see opportunities in it. I mean, I'm not speaking like that way for all of them,
but I have heard the idea too. I think even Durante was the one that said this, that it's kind of like there's this thing that happens where you think you're going to be a pastor, and you're like, most of the way through your schooling for that, and then you start finding out the real shit, like the actual history of the Bible and stuff, where you find out like, oh, wait, it's not actually like, wait, we know it's not, but you're so dedicated into it, you're like all the way in by then like, what are you gonna do? Like you've already put 20 grand into your education or more.
Yeah.
That's okay, Andrew.
Oh, you're not alone, Andrew. You are not alone in that.
You're not going to find us to push back on that, I don't think. At least not against like Christianity as a concept. Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing to me how many people that got out of Armstrong's cult still found their way to some form of Christianity, like evangelicalism or some prettier, happy Jesus people type of stuff. But
I know we're kind of oddballs from the cult, because everything else we've found seems to be a little more like still from a Christian point of view, where they were just like, oh, I was part of this cult, but now I lost that cultiness and I'm back to the true word of God or whatever.
Yeah, I just didn't want anything to do with any of it because I was never a believer. It's just, I've been an atheist my whole life, not really knowing I was an atheist my whole life. I couldn't wait to escape. But to me, I would think that atheism is the ultimate goal, just to be free of this shit. Now, you can worship unicorns for all I care, as long as it doesn't control other people, have at it. But the problem is, it does control people. Whether they like to admit it or not. And just having this podcast, Pats, and talking about things, we realize more and more how much of it does actually control people in ways you didn't even realize. Yeah, being a televangelist is absolutely a whole nother story. And this dude, he was very much one before televangelism became a thing.
I know. Well, it's true though, because like if you're a televangelist, it's a whole it's a production, right? You're looking at production value then, and it's not like you're expecting the truth of the matter to really be the thing that brings people in. So, all right, that's fine. You're welcome here. We are totally atheists, but you are welcome here. And I agree. I mean, whatever it is certainly been corrupted by what we've done with it.
Yeah, we've come across a lot of people like Lanisa Frederick, the actress from LA. She's pretty well known. She's a survivor of Worldwide Church of God. And like she believes in something, but she's not really sure what. She like on some level she thinks like, oh, maybe all the gods are just kind of the same thing. But like, yeah, she's not hurting anyone. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and do your thing. What's making you happy and not hurting anyone else?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. Thank
oh,
you,
thanks,
Justin.
Dustin.
That's so nice of you to say. Oh, seriously, you know what? That is exactly what I hoped it would be, because this
Yes.
stuff is stuff that we need to talk about and laugh in the face of.
Yeah, we have good laughs on this channel too. But yeah, we hope that it helps people too with all this drama. Sweet shades, by the way, if that's actually the picture. Where's my
Mhm.
ball? There it is. Yeah, that's kind of our goal. That's kind of the stage we're at, is like the therapy of it, just kind of healing from all the religious trauma that we didn't really know was there. That really is kind of our
Mhm.
goal. So
Right. Yeah,
we
we're like
appreciate you
post
guys.
deconstruction. That's what I've kind of come
Right.
to realize. Yeah, it's like we're not really in that deconstruction phase. Like we're still
Mhm.
going to reference that stuff and it wouldn't be bad for people deconstructing, but yeah, we're kind of like if you're past that and you're like why the fuck is like this stuff still hard for me, or why do I still get stuck about this? I think
Mhm.
that's kind of the place that we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe
yeah.
it's the guilt and shame that lingers. I know that's a problem for me, is like I blame myself for a lot of shit. I don't know why I do it. I just keep apologizing as if everything is my fault and I'm just still not good enough. And I think that's just lingering trauma from the church. So.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, who you were and your learning about the world was never honored. And so, yeah, of course we come through that kind of like, well, I guess I'll figure it out. But we know that's not necessarily limited to cult kids. There's all that talk in the world about
Mm.
like imposter syndrome and everything, right? And that's kind of a related thing. Like we spend so much time judging and being judged in society, in churches, etc. It's like, what about just showing up and being like, hey, life is hard and we've all seen shit, and all the stuff we've seen like shapes how we think about stuff now. And so we're only coming to the table with that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when we put our heads together, then we can be like, oh, you thought of it like that because of that happening? Whoa, I thought of it like this because this thing happened, or I had this other experience. And
Mhm.
yeah. And that's holding space for each other. And that's a thing I say a lot, that I want to be a space or a channel where we hold space for each other.
Right.
To be like, yeah, this shit was hard and I experienced that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened, Pats? We were taught to hate this world, that it would end before we even got to high school. And we were thrown out into a world we were taught to hate. And what happened? We slowly, after a time, began to fall in love with this world and the people in it. And we realized they weren't evil people. They're actually really cool. They're a lot of fun.
And more than that, we realize that same thing about ourselves. Like,
Yes.
oh, like, I like me.
Yay!
Like, whatever. I didn't have to do any XYZ thing. Like, I just get to exist. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Because,
Mhm.
like, in Armstrong's cults, I mean, it was like your value was based off of how well you followed God's laws. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I mean, like, it was almost like a checklist in the WCG. So, like, Worldwide Church of God, so like, don't do this, don't do that. You have to adhere to this. And if you were, ticking all those boxes, you were doing a good job. And then I guess you were worth something, sort of. It was weird. This whole like you're kind of worthless, but at the same time, you're one of God's chosen people.
I think that was the key to his success, because he created this like two different things that don't really work together. And so if you're trying to hold them, you kind of and you're stuck. Like,
Mhm.
because you're trying to hold two things that don't make sense together at the same time.
But
So
yeah,
you're
he
just like in
reiterated that.
limbo. Huh?
he would be like, yeah, I know this is not going to make sense to you because he basically told us we're all dumb sheep
Yes.
and we don't understand. But don't worry, I got you. You know,
I
you
know
just
you
listen
can't
to me.
understand this with your small human mind. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was the Radio Church of
Yep.
God. And so there had to have been other radio preachers at the time, but is
When did Jimmy Falwell come onto the scene? I think he was also around the same time. But okay,
or Billy Graham?
1933.
When was Billy Graham?
Billy Graham was on there too. 1933 was when Radio Church of God started. I think there were a few radio preachers at the time, but man, Armstrong was well known and he was different.
Mm-hmm.
He charmed people. The old fart of an empty shit head. Sorry. There's a natural good in there. No, you can say whatever the fuck you want. It's good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Sometimes we get angry on our channel and we're just like, fucking, I'm so fucking angry. And then we have to apologize. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. No, I actually meant it, but you know.
We don't have to apologize.
No, we really don't. But as long as we're not being offensive, like, hey, we're stating how we feel.
Should we get a little more Armstrong Christmas information?
Sure.
Okay. The plain truth about Christmas. Here we go.
Make us excited about Christmas.
Now we need to go back to the very beginning to learn where it really started and the original cause and how we came to have the kind of world that we do. And therein lies the mystery of all of the world that you're living in today. A world of the great paradox.
Oh, here we go.
First, you're living in a modern world today of awesome progress, awesome accomplishment. As I've said time and again, sending men to the moon and back today, getting photographs in from close up from right on the surface of Mars, Saturn and Jupiter, the awesome things of the jet plane. We're living in a time of awesome progress, but appalling crime, appalling evils and troubles and problems that the world seems unable to solve. We can't seem to solve our problems. We're living in a world.
What?
Sorry, I said tell your God to fix them.
Well, right?
I'm just being a snarky
I mean,
bitch.
And
yet
I love it.
I'm sorry, I just gotta say it drives me crazy. People that say like, oh God, Jesus, he saved me from that car accident. I was so close to getting hit. Like, oh, he saved you, did he? But yet he didn't care about this little child starving over here in this other country. Fuck all the way off.
Exactly. Right. And then you go all the way to like evangelicals being like, and then God saved a parking spot near the front door for me.
Oh my fucking. Okay.
I mean, I know that's a little bit of a caricature, but I have actually heard that.
Oh, I've heard some pretty disgusting things in that very short stint I was in evangelicalism. Like, I almost hated it worse than being in the cult. At least in the cult, Armstrong would like, and people were real about what's in the Bible. Yeah, there's all these shitty things in the Bible, and fuck yeah, the world's gonna end. You're not gonna be a part of it. But it was like, yeah, in evangelicalism, we're just gonna pretend to be nice to you, you know. Because Jesus and all your sins go away. And we have potlucks.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish this little montage then.
How long is this? Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, wait a second. Look at this.
What?
David, you're just bringing it. Yeah, the height of the Tower of Babel, but then Armstrong's talking about that we could like send people to the moon.
That's good. That's good.
I mean, that is such a great point.
Yeah, why didn't he stop him?
Mhm.
Maybe it is a hoax and it never happened. Woo!
Yeah. His spawn. Yeah, that's a good point. Right. Well, but see, I think Armstrong extolled the virtues of technology and stuff, like kind of, but see, he was like juxtaposing it with like saying that it's also caused us all of this turmoil somehow. I don't know. But I do agree with you that it seems like the David C. Packs of the world and Gerald Flurries aren't out there like promoting new technologies. Yeah.
Why would they? The world's going to end, Pats. There's no reason to progress.
If you ask David C. Pack, it's going to end 50 different times in 1 year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
He just keeps trying.
He
Hoping one of
is
these days he's right.
ridiculous. There.
A world of discontent, a world of unhappiness, a world where about half of this world is living in abject poverty, filth and squalor, and where hundreds and thousands are actually starving to death week by week and month by month in this world. Why, in a world of such technology, in a world of such progress, should we have such a condition among humanity?
I could give one reason.
Yeah,
Because
do
there's
tell.
people like Armstrong in the world who are hoarding millions of dollars and have 2 private jets and pay for prostitutes and kiki sex toys, apparently, in Britain. He liked those too. And $8,000 champagne bottle holders and all the antiques he bought and Ambassador Hall and you name it. All
So
the
if we
things he
zoom-
spent money.
We zoom out from there a little bit. Why are those countries that are living in abject poverty, why are they doing that? Why do they not have good infrastructure? Why do they not have what they need?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yep.
is it because they were colonized by Britain and had their natural resources stolen? Is that why?
Yep.
I kind of think so. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I don't know, the weird circularness of all of that kind of makes me sick. But
Isn't it?
yeah,
It is
I mean,
very
the
weird.
excesses of the few creates the poverty of the many. Like, come on, people.
That was beautiful, Pat. That was
Thanks.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Pink onyx walls and gold leaf. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be Ambassador Auditorium, I think. I know they
It
had
was,
the gold leaf on everything. They could
yeah,
put
the gold leaf
leaf
was
on.
everywhere. Yeah.
Mm.
Mormon
Uh-oh.
Bigfoot. Oh,
I don't know, Bree.
I have actually heard of that, but I am delighted to know more. I am all about
Nice.
cryptids. Bumblebee, I am super stoked for talking about cryptids soon.
Excellent.
Oh, man.
Oh, yes. Good times. Good times. So, I mean, I kind of feel like there's some judgment coming from Armstrong here. Like he wants to judge the world for being so terrible with, like, I mean, he's just going to say it's the devil, right? With no, like, attempting to understand what's actually going on here. And, like, oh, maybe as humans could go, huh, we made this world the way it is. It looks like we kind of did some fuck ups, guys. It seems like maybe we should fix that. But no, we're just going to be like, isn't it terrible because the devil's so bad and we all just need to wait for Jesus? What? Ugh.
Well, and when you think the world's going to end, you don't do anything to improve upon it. This is prophesized about in the Bible, right? So you're just like, oh, you're actually looking forward to terrible things that happen in the world, right? Because didn't you say that? Like our mom just, whenever something terrible happened in the news, they almost got excited about it because they were looking forward to the end of the world.
Just 3.5 years now till
3.5 years to the
mid-trib. We're gonna get taken to the place of safety. Woohoo!
All these
fuckers are gonna realize we were right and they were wrong. It's awesome.
Disgusting.
Well, I mean, it's hitting upon hurts, right? It's using people's hurts.
Mm-hmm. And well, and I think Armstrong got people to stick with him too, because it is scary looking at all those people that are starving to death in other parts of the world, and people don't want to become that. So you just stick with Herbert W. Armstrong, and he'll make sure you never become that. You're in the right spot. You can live luxuriously like him.
Yep. Just like him, I'm sure. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
God, this guy makes me mad.
Where do we come to be here on the earth? Where are we going? What's life all about? What is the purpose? What lies ahead? People don't seem to understand. Have you ever been interested in how you came to be on the earth? How did human beings come to be here?
Aliens.
Let me tell you, we were put here and for a purpose.
Aliens.
Science doesn't know. They will never tell you. Religion
It was aliens, and it was to mine all the gold. Thank you.
doesn't know and
Aliens.
won't tell you.
Yes.
Education is not teaching it, and you'll never learn it in any college or university. But it all begins in your Bible with the creation of man.
Oh.
And you read.
Does it, though? Oh, I have to admit that dispensationalism, while it is fun to say, is not a word I am completely familiar with.
I like it, though.
Mm-hmm.
Dispensationalism.
I feel like I should know that one, but the post-mortem salvation stuff. So like the resurrections and stuff, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, actually, that's an interesting point there, Rex. Like, what was it about those, like for each of our parents, right? Like if we all were brought in as kids and our parents got sucked in, like why? What made our parents vulnerable to it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Feeling special when they never felt special in their life before. That's just a simple explanation, but I know it goes deeper than that. But Jason Freer, hey, thanks for joining.
Okay, yeah, Rex,
Move in
thanks for
silence.
explaining that. That makes sense. Yeah, that's probably true. So there's maybe more gold in asteroids than on planet Earth. Dang it, you're busting up my theory. I was really enjoying believing that we were a little like ant farm of aliens. Damn it.
We're not saying it was aliens, Pats, but it was aliens.
Hi, Jason. Glad you could be here.
Hey, Jason.
Oh, yeah. Tribulation obsessed mother. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I guess I kind of said it, but that was where, every time something bad happened, my parents would be like, 3.5 years. All excited because they thought every bad thing was like the mark of that was definitely the baddest thing. So that was starting the Great Tribulation.
Not all those other horrific things that have happened in the last, 2000 or so years, but right now, as things are getting better.
Yeah. I mean, objectively, things are better for more humans now than they were at basically any point in the past.
That's what I'm saying. People used to have public hangings where that was everyone's form of entertainment. You go and see this person strangled to death. Your kids are there. They used to have kids used to have toy oh God, why is the name eluding me? Could you
like a gallows?
No, get your head chopped off. You're in Spanish Inquisition.
Guillotine.
Guillotine, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of the name just now.
Isn't that great fun?
Yeah, kids used to have little replica toys of those. Yeah. So I think we've come a long way as a society compared to the way things were. But can you imagine living your entire life, Pats, where you're just looking forward to dying and seeing the world tomorrow, this God's kingdom, so you're really not living a life here at all. Just like you just are looking forward to the world ending. And I'm sure our parents are very confused why they're still alive and it hasn't happened yet. Very confused.
God, that makes me sad. You've said that before. It makes me sad every time to think about that, to be honest.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
They have no joy in this world at all.
Deviant, I agree with you. We have talked about this very fact for Armstrong himself, but totally like society-wide, 2 world wars and the first atom bomb, like, I mean, it's still scary shit. Like, we've kind of normalized it, I guess, but, yeah. That'll definitely do something to a person. And it did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tribulation stuff, dispensationalism. Okay.
Oh, well, we'll look that up. That's
I'll
very
still look into
interesting.
that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get some Genesis, because if we're gonna learn about Christmas, we need to Look at Genesis 1:1. Here
All
you go.
right.
Back in the very beginning of how we came to be on the earth, it says in the first verse of the Bible, Genesis 1 and verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the word for God was written by Moses, and he wrote in the Hebrew language, is translated into the English word God, but Moses wrote the word Elohim. And Elohim is a uniplural, meaning more than one person, but one God. Only one.
Well, I don't know about only one God, but I think it is a plural. That's what I have heard. I don't know how he's saying it denotes more than one person, but only one God. I don't think that's accurate, if I remember our friend Joel talking about that word.
I mean, sometimes I feel like we need biblical scholars on standby to go through this shit with us, because I'm looking and I'm like, you're telling me that the average person can read this book, know which version, and we're supposed to get like the accurate. Oh, I'm sorry, the Holy Spirit is supposed to guide us. The words.
Yes.
Is that correct? We're not
Mhm.
supposed to actually lean on our own understanding on these words in the Bible. It's the Holy Spirit that guides us as we read. Is that right?
I mean, I guess, but that probably goes based on the church. If it's that, or if it's that you're supposed to listen to the pastor, or yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
you
yeah,
got to listen to the pastor too.
I kind of debate though, like, do I need to know all of the old Hebrew stuff? Like, I do think it's interesting because you can, you know, kind of see through the nonsense that's being put forth by Christian pastors, but also, like, I don't know that I need to pick apart some old dusty thing to like know what it says, because I just don't give it the credence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
God. But the word is like family, only one family. Then there can be many members of that family, but it's only one family.
Oh, this is his
You can have
family,
one
God
team, an
family.
athletic team, but there'll be anywhere from 2 or 3 to 5 or 9 or 11 members on the team, but it's one team, nevertheless.
As far as I can tell, that's just his apologetic for the fact that Elohim is a plural word, and he knows that.
Because he was non-Trinitarian, so it can't even relate to that either. All right.
Right. Well, right. I mean, I think that's his like Unitarian apologetic. Yes, correct.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the word Trinity, if I'm not mistaken, does not appear in the Bible even once.
Right.
Thank you for using CE. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. It's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, I know, right? I know, I feel kind of bad because these aren't things that I can just like bring out in the moment. But for about 4 years, I spent a bunch of time diving into this and trying to like get it in my head, because I'd had this like really contentious phone call with my mother
Oh,
where she
God.
was ready to throw down all her Bible knowledge, and I was like at the moment just like, okay, I don't know what to do about that because I can't fight that way. So so I went into this big study of trying to learn all this stuff, and like I took it all in, but I'm just not good at like, let me talk about the Hebrews, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe I'll get there.
God,
So God is a team.
Yeah.
I like that. Not the God family, but like go team. Go team God. Yeah.
Yeah. Yay.
Oh, all right. Well, hey, congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, that's quite the stage to be in. Yeah, there's a lot of people that you can turn to on YouTube to help with deconversion. Christy Burke is a really good one, by the way. We really love her channel. She picks apart the Bible, and she's very clear and concise in how she talks. I mean, she's really good.
She comes from more of an evangelical fundamentalist point of view, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
We got a good one in the house there. Archaeologist, Egyptologist.
yay.
Yeah, great.
Oh, I want to talk to you more. That's awesome. Archaeologist and Egyptologist.
Do you know, is it Josh Digital Hammurabi? Dr. Josh Bowen?
Dr. Josh
Well,
Bowen of Digital
yeah.
Hammurabi. Yeah.
Yeah, let me know if you know who that is.
I think Derek Lamberg of Myth Vision is also, is he some type of like historian maybe? I don't know if like
I don't
people are
think so.
officially.
He was pretty heavy into his theology, but he's just like really smart guy about all that stuff, and he talks to all the scholars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is interesting, to pick the Bible apart. I know we're more on the healing from trauma side of things, but I mean, yeah, we love history too. That would be
Yeah. I know, that's the hard part, to know where you want to find your little niche.
yeah. It's
We are
yes.
in that group. Not
Mhm.
super active. I try not to overwhelm them with links to our stuff. Just every now and then I'll put something in there, but
Yeah. I do pop in
yeah.
there quite a bit, Justin. Yeah, I'll find you on there. You have yeah, there's always good conversations in that, and I love seeing new people come into Herbert Armstrong.
That's
They're
cool.
like, I didn't know this existed. I can come and talk about this because I think it's hard for former members of Worldwide Church of God to actually speak out about this type of stuff because we were taught not to. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it took a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. David Fitzgerald's books as well. Yeah, he's
Good
something of a
call.
historian, even though he doesn't say he's a historian. I mean, he
He
knows a
said,
lot
"Don't
about
call him one."
history.
We have an interview with David on our channel that was
Yeah, he
super
was a recent
fun.
one too. Yeah, Christy
Yeah,
there.
thanks for that, Jason.
Yay.
That's great.
Awesome.
All right. Well, we're not even halfway through this beast, Nancy.
Well, Patty, this is so fascinating. Oh my God. In the beginning, God created the heaven and earth. Please, I need to hear more. What happens next? Come on. Come
I
on.
know we're a little too excited about all of our
It kind of
rabbit
reminds me
trails
of
right
like
now.
once upon a time. Yeah.
I know.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, in verse 26 of that same first chapter of Genesis, we find, and God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." That's after God had created land animals beside fish and birds and other kinds of life, each after its own kind. But now he said, "Let us make man after our kind, after our image, after our likeness." Man was made after the God kind, and man was made to have a relationship with God that animals cannot have.
There he goes again.
However, strange
Enough.
enough, we read in the second chapter of Genesis in verse 7.
Okay, I'm not really seeing how this is Christmassy, but that's okay. We'll just keep going.
Oh, I'm sure he'll get to his point.
That the Lord God made man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man, made from the dust of the ground, became a living soul, not an immortal.
Okay, I just see this. So who is our? Right. So I think this is that reference to the Elohim thing, right? That it's like he's saying it's one God, but it's like one God family. I think that was his whole thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the God
right.
family.
Well, at least that's what Armstrong would say it is. But I think, Andrew, yes, because they had multiple gods and that part was written. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. There we go. Sorry.
Mortal soul. But the dust of the ground became a soul. A soul then is made from the dust of the ground and is mortal and not immortal. Man was made to have only chemical existence, a temporary chemical existence. What is the life within you? The life in you is the blood that is circulating in your veins. The life in you is the breath that you breathe, and it's called the breath of life. Without breathing, you won't be alive 5 minutes. You can't. You might try it sometime. You stop your breath, you won't live 5 minutes.
Yeah, and
we try it sometime. That's hilarious.
Watch his jowls.
Yes. Bumblebee. That's what I love to say. We're just chemicals and electricity.
Yeah.
I love that.
And electrical.
Well, yeah. Well, what's my thing? I like to say Actually, I want to, for all the science nerds out there, I like to say that humans are dirt dolls animated by sunlight. Because it sounds super like witchy and fun, but I'm like, actually, I think it's kind of scientifically accurate.
Yeah. That's right, Pat.
Mhm.
Your witchiness doesn't harm anyone.
Well,
You
that's
go
good.
ahead and do your crystals and whatever else.
Yeah.
No, you're not really into crystal. Well, maybe you were for a while, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, not as much right now. Yeah, breathing. But that's a really common thought in like kind of witchy I don't know, breath, right? Like the idea that your breath is a big deal. I don't remember what societies I've heard about that in, but it kind of makes sense. Like because he's not wrong, you do need breath, and we all share the air. I don't know, we're all connected by the air.
That could get
And
pretty
and the
philosophical.
water. Well, yeah, and the water. Like there's a kids book I had when my kiddos were little. Um, You Are Made of Star Stuff, something like that. And it
Mhm.
talked about like the water in your glass was once, in a puddle that a dinosaur walked through. And that's true. Right? Like I think we are always getting a little bit more water from space, like
Yeah.
dust and water from space, but like it is mostly the same water that's been that H2O, that's the same molecules, same atoms that have been circulating around doing their water cycle thing.
I mean, that is fascinating. Yeah.
It's cool, right? Like
That
you
comes
don't
from a
have to go to
fascination with this earth. Yeah.
well, yeah, that's exactly it. Like it's so amazing and so cool. And you don't have to add a god into that for it to be totally awesome to know what is on this earth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I actually appreciate it more from a natural viewpoint instead of be like, oh, God created this. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I agree. I think it's more cool because there's more to find out, right? Because like the whole idea that God created is such a thought stopping technique, Because then
Yeah.
there's nowhere else to go. You just have that answer of God, and then like, oh, okay, I guess I don't need all my curiosity then.
Because God. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I would never want to
Mm-hmm.
live in a world where you have all the answers. I love feeding my curiosity. I love not knowing things because then I can pursue knowledge. I can figure it out. And we'll always,
Mm-hmm.
and we can learn from each other. To we in a way we kind of just stop talking to each other and we stop progressing when we think we have all the answers. We're just
Yes.
all go into a church and just worship this God. Oh my God.
Yeah,
What
there's
a
just not progress
what
if
a
that's
boring
what we
life.
do.
What a boring
But
life.
I
I just
I totally believe that this is how we change the world, by
no.
talking to each other and talking incredibly honestly about what's working and what isn't. And
Mhm.
then we should do the thing that makes things better for more people. Ah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, something like that,
Yeah.
Andrew. Something like that.
I mean, it's all jizz, right? Didn't Ptah in
Mm-hmm.
Egyptian mythology like ejaculate all of us into existence?
Exactly.
Oh, we're all cum stains. That's how we came to be. Oh, yes, Sanchez, Atheist Guide to
Yeah.
the Old Testament. Yeah, exactly. He
Thank
was
you. That's a
someone,
good one.
Pats, that I really wanted to talk with him more, Dr. Josh Bowen at BajaCon, but I mean, we met him, but we didn't really get a chance to chat with him a little bit, so
Yeah, we'll get there.
we'll have to reconnect. Hey, he's got some good shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ski too.
Oh my God.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry. Why do
right.
we always go back to topics like either pound an ass or
Because of
jizz
our
or
sinful nature, Nancy. Don't you know?
I mean, if you're deprived of things long enough, eventually you're going to want to break free and do all those things. It's like
Mm,
when teenagers think they're cool, it's so cool for having a cigarette because I'm not supposed to.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Maya, we
Okay.
want you on our channel too, my dear.
I know.
We
I
are
gotta do that.
getting caught up on our interviews right now. We are so behind, but we've had so many interviews coming out. But yeah, we want you on, Maya, for sure. And yeah, we'll reach back out to Dr. Josh Bowen.
Good times.
Oh, where does our day go?
Not reading this one out loud.
Yeah. That's what happens with Jesus jizz. I did ask the question, and there we go. It becomes Jesus might. Like Vegemite. Yeah, Jesus jizz. Okay.
Oh, is this because I haven't wrenched people? I haven't really figured that out yet. Maybe that's what you mean. Tell me if that's what you mean. And then I need to figure out more things about what I'm doing here. Okay. More Herbie?
Sure.
More Herbie. More Herbie. More Herbie.
Entertaining me so much.
I know.
All right.
It's like enthralling.
We have to be fed with food and water that all comes out of the ground. It's just earthy. We're all material. We do not have life. God formed man of the dust of the ground. God did not form man with life inherent. Now we read in the Bible that God is a spirit. God has immortality, immortal life. God has life inherent, self-containing life. God doesn't have to have a heart pumping blood to live. He doesn't have to breathe air to live. He doesn't have to eat food, drink water to live. Although we find that God can eat food and enjoy it.
Really?
But he doesn't need to do it to exist.
Do you see his face?
God has a bunch of feasts and what? His
Look,
jowls?
he seems so happy. He just seemed like God can enjoy food. He doesn't have to, but he does.
Self-containing life.
You know what
God
it is?
doesn't
Watch.
have to
Shit-eating grin. There
have
it
a
is.
heart pumping blood to live. He doesn't have to breathe air to live. He doesn't have to eat food, drink water to live. Although we
I think that's the moment when he's like, those dumb sheep are believing everything I'm saying right now.
That,
what I
and I
think.
think it's a little bit combined with, hey, I am God's last great day prophet. I'm like God's homie over here. I'm his right hand man. So isn't that awesome to be like, look how elevated I am? All while manipulating his members. Yes. I do
find
think
that
he
God can
actually believed this. Do you think he actually believed all the things that he was teaching? Maybe in the beginning, or do we really just think like he was an opportunist and he saw a way to make money out of this, get power, get famous, whatever the fuck he wanted out of this? I think he definitely didn't believe in this crap towards the end because his true nature started to come out. But I often wondered, like, did he actually believe the things that he was teaching?
I think he might have. I mean, we talk about our mom steeping herself in it by sitting and reading her Bible every night for 50 years. Like, he did the same thing, except he was doing it like while he was running all these crappy shell companies and everything and just making tons of money. So it's like, it's kind of like, I think he did convince himself of what he was saying, and he had himself completely convinced that it was okay, that it was sanctioned.
Mm.
I just think he thought he was completely in the right.
Yeah.
Oop. Cursor.
Herbie was God. No, he thought he was God's homie.
Yeah. Rectal assertions.
Right. Well, and Herbie just got so arrogant by this point because when he's filming this, I mean, he's got so much money. He's just been traveling around the world. I think he was married to his second hot young wife at this point. And he was just living good.
Okay, this is a great point here. I've noticed this too, right? Like, I think that's one of the things if you're trying to spot someone lying that you're like they'll be saying something that they want you to believe, but if you watch, like they'll kind of do things that like belay the fact that they know it's not true by like shaking their head. So this is so funny because that is what Armstrong does. He like kind of shakes his head no as he's talking.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, we don't play that.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Darth Cheeto.
Has
I
everyone
mean, kinda.
watched, sorry, Randy Rainbow, has everyone seen his famous video of Desperate Cheeto? All right. It's a play on the song Despacito, excuse me. And he's talking about Trump. It is so fucking good. And Randy Rainbow is amazing. He's got a hilarious channel. But yeah, Patty, how many times have I said Trump's name when I actually meant Armstrong's and vice versa? Holy shit, because the two have so many similarities.
We have definitely noticed some similarities there. Yes.
Good God.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Oh. Okay. So yeah,
I'm
this
sorry.
was
It was
actually a
Amun that-
question. Well, I think our friend Joel had thought it was Ptah. At one point, he thought it was one or the other, and then somehow he settled on Ptah. But yeah,
My bad.
wow.
Thank you,
Actually, that's more
Julian.
detailed than I remembered. The
Sat
spitting
on a
part.
load of flour, jacked off, came in his mouth. Came in whose mouth? His own? And spat out the first demon in creation. Theban. Okay. Was Thebes the Okay. I want to look that up.
I think myths of creation are so. Oh, okay. There's the answer. Are so fascinating.
He
Like,
jacked off into his own mouth. Now that's a god to worship right there. That's impressive. Mm. All
oh my
narc.
gosh.
Yeah, narcissist. Yep.
So funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yep.
I feel like the awareness of narcissist is we're more informed of how narcissists operate. Like I think in the last few years I've heard the word narcissist a lot more, and now we're recognizing,
I
type
think
of
the
people that-
pandemic gave all of the introverts a moment to be like, oh my God, I don't have to hang out with my narcissist friends anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gave
Right.
us time to think.
Isn't it great? Yeah. We
Mhm.
can weed out some of those on our friends list. Yeah.
That's right. Agreed. How did
That
we
is
get stuck
so
with the
fucking-
uncoolest God? I know our God doesn't even like come in his own mouth or anything. Like, boring.
Mhm. I often said the same thing, Maya, about our father. I know, kind of mean, but like our dad has 6 siblings, and like everyone else is super cool. We have another uncle that like just loves to get stoned, and then our father was following this guy.
Yeah, what do you do? It's true. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
came
what
up
we
with him.
know of the stories now, it would be so interesting to try to figure out why on earth was that the thing that that group of people thought was so important that it must have created the world. Fascinating.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, what kind of scenario were you in? I'm just picturing like, what would you do? Just be like, pretend you didn't see them and awkwardly walk away. Oh man. Ah. Yeah, they killed off or destroyed all of the cool gods. Yeah, the Norse gods. Yeah. If I were gonna worship a god, I would probably do one like Ganesh, who's a cute little blue elephant. I mean, why not? He's got a little pot belly on him too.
I did a spell involving Ganesh once.
Did you? Interesting.
'Cause we were
Remover of
traveling to India.
obstacles.
Yeah, because we were traveling to India.
Yep. That's my husband's family's deity back in India is Ganesh.
Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Sure.
Eat food and enjoy
Ah.
it, but he doesn't need to do it to exist. Now then, when God created man, he put him in a Garden of Eden that God had made, a very beautiful garden. It's sometimes called paradise. But in that garden, there were in the midst of it two symbolic trees. One is called the tree of life. As I said a moment ago, God created man with only a temporary, chemical, materialistic existence. You're going to live so long, your life's going to run down, just like a clock wound up running down. And when it runs down, if you can't rewind it, it isn't going to go on running any longer. And that's the way with your life. Only when your life really runs down, you can't wind it up again, as you could a clock. You ever think of that?
What?
Life, however, was offered to the first man, Adam. In that Garden of Eden, there were two symbolic trees in the midst of the garden. One was called the tree of life. Now, the other was really the tree of death, because it is called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But
I know you
What?
want to talk about that too, right?
Well, go ahead if you had something.
No, you can start us off. I was just be
I'm
like,
sorry, but he just said the tree of knowledge of good and evil is the tree of death.
yeah, Yeah.
You people aren't supposed to know things.
exactly.
Okay.
That is the whole idea. Like, you're not supposed to. Oh, it all ties in together, Pat. Why wouldn't you want to know things? Why would you want to have blinders on and be ignorant? I know the whole ignorance is bliss thing.
Oh boy. Yeah. This is good stuff.
Oh, I love having the historical
Mhm.
background.
Mm-hmm.
Chose the
Yeah,
god of war,
Yahweh.
so all would fear him. Yeah.
I think I had heard the idea that before Yahweh was considered the god of war, it had been kind of a volcano god, like earlier on. And I could be wrong about that, or maybe where I heard it was incorrect. But I had heard that idea then combined with the whole like Israelites leaving Egypt and the how God was represented in there as a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. And it's like, that does sound like what a volcano looks like when it's doing its thing, you know?
I think you told me about that once. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep,
mean, who
that
knows?
makes
But I
total
thought that was
sense.
super interesting. And doesn't that make sense that if people are watching this thing happen when it hadn't really happened like that before, really active volcano time, like, of course that would make them have supernatural thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Well, I mean,
precisely.
cavemen looked up at the sky and, oh, what's that stuff making noise there? The thunder. Oh, let's create a god. That's what
Mhm.
did it. Yeah.
I know. I mean,
Thor's
it's people
hammer, I
trying to
mean.
explain the world they were in. It's like I kind of want to honor that, you know?
And the fact that Christianity stuck really scares me to death.
Mm.
And of all the religions to stick with time, it had to be Christianity, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, power dynamic is a big deal there.
Yeah, it would have been nice if we had more documentation on Norse mythologies. Though, Maya, have you seen the show Vikings? I think it's really good.
Hmm.
I just recently finished that one, and I think they stuck to, as historically accurate as they could have with what limited documentation there was on that mythology.
Right. I know, it is a little sad to realize how much of these ideas have been lost.
Mhm. Whole cultures that we never knew about because we just never discovered it. Yeah, knowledge equals death says it all.
Exactly, right
That's
there.
exactly what he's fucking saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you gain knowledge, they might lose power. They don't want to lose power over you. So yeah, the garden was a lab. Yeah. I didn't know
That's-
about Lilith until like a few years ago. Did you, Pat?
Yes, I had heard of Lilith growing up because the idea in the church was that she was Adam's first wife and she was bad news. She tried to be her own person.
Mm. A woman that speaks her mind. No.
Exactly.
Yeah, no shit, right, Rex? Yeah, we were all confused. I'm still confused as an adult trying to make sense of this shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Trying to pick up apart the Bible. Ugh, I didn't want to read it the first fucking time.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, good on you, Angie. That's a good skill to have.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this is such a good point too.
Yeah, exactly.
Adam translates to mankind. Yeah, I don't know about the Lilith thing.
Mm.
Although it's interesting, I think in the Bible, there's the whole thing where it's Adam and Eve, and then they have, their kids. But then when their kids are grown, they like go out and find wives in the local town. So it's
yeah.
so you're saying it wasn't the first one, but it was like maybe a lab, right? Like there's civilization, and here's the lab where they were growing more humans. I don't know.
There are all kinds of apologetics for that story, but
I mean, we could come up with alien apologetics for that.
I'm always on board for alien stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna play this. We'll get through it.
It was only materialistic knowledge that a man could acquire with his own brain and the spirit in him, with his own mind, with a human mind, which can acquire knowledge that an animal cannot acquire because of the spirit in man. But he was going to run down and die unless life was imparted to him. Now, the tree of life simply meant the Holy Spirit of God, the spirit of life from God that would have impregnated him with immortal life, would have imparted God life to him. He was made to become like God. He was made in the form and shape of God. That's the way you were born, my friends. And it's time we wake up and realize the purpose of life, the meaning of life, why we're here on the earth, where we're going, and what is the way of life, and what is the cause of all of the troubles in life today. We need to realize that. So one was the tree of life, and the other was the tree of death, so to speak. The tree of death really was called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That was self-produced knowledge that man with his own mind power could produce. And that limited man to physical, materialistic knowledge. But the tree of life also was a tree of knowledge. If he had taken of that tree, God would have revealed knowledge to the man, spiritual knowledge. Now, there are two kinds of knowledge. One is materialistic. That enables a man to deal with the things out of the earth. Man can do great things with things out of the earth. He can deal with matter. But man does not know how to deal with his neighbor and with other people. And man was made to have a relationship with God. And he needs to know how to live with God.
Okay.
Is this just word vomit? Am I?
Yeah. Okay. This was what I was getting to. I was sitting here like, should I be making something of this? Right?
But that's what he does.
Okay.
He says
you all heard this with us.
Will pick little things out of it. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, profound. You find one relatable thing, and he's got them.
Mm-hmm.
He's
My
just
gosh.
bullshit. And how does this relate to Christmas? I'm curious.
I know.
Is he going to tie it back around to here at some point?
Yeah, let's see. It's probably just something about how evil we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Good times.
comments going on here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
9 billion
Tux.
people. I mean, hi, Tux. Awesome. Muff divers.
Oh my god.
To look like a vajay.
All right.
Oh my god, I love it. Okay, so something really funny I just wanted to throw out. And no shit, I knew these two people at the same time. I had one friend named Vijay. Obviously, he's from India. And I had a friend from like Cambodia or something. Her name was Na. N-A. Yeah. I was working at trying to get those two friends of mine together so I could be like, these are my friends, Vijay and Na. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, it was
that's
Vajai. You actually said his name Vajai. Yeah.
amazing.
Great.
That's so
Vajai and
fantastic.
my two friends. Yay. I thought
So
it was funny.
good.
Uh,
Stephanie, as far as we know, that's the idea. Yes.
I heard that it was actually his wife. Is that right? Like his actual first wife?
Well, but also, I think in the Hebrew Bible, anytime it says wife to us in English, like the word in Hebrew was just woman. Their woman.
Oh, who officiated them, by the way?
Yeah.
The wedding. He's like,
Exactly. This is such a great point. Yep, the handbook. Sorry, I guess this is conversation going on between
No,
y'all, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. Yep, abusers,
Exactly.
narcissists. Yeah,
It really is right there.
right.
Agreed.
seeing it,
9 billion people came from only 2. That'd be a problem. Well, and now I think scientifically we might have muddied the waters a little bit because there's this whole idea of like mitochondrial Eve, like the
Mhm.
one woman
Sure.
that all humans can be traced back to.
Yep.
In theory. But it makes sense for scientists who are like long past this idea of Eve, but then Christians who like still have that going are like, oh, are they validating the Bible? No.
They'll
No,
find
no.
a way to tie it in somehow. If it even sounds remotely like it could explain it, they'll use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's hear a little more, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Vomit at us, Mr. Armstrong. Come on.
All right. If you guys are too sick of Armstrong, though, just say so.
God would have given him the revealed spiritual knowledge, and spiritual knowledge would teach him how to live with God in harmony and peace with God. Now, God is not only the creator, God is the great giver of every good and worthwhile gift. All comes from God. And God's way of life is giving. His way of life is giving. Now, that is just my term for love. Also, another four-letter word, L-O-V-E. That is the law of God. It is a spiritual law that tells you how
Wait,
to
also
live
another
at peace
four-letter
with
word?
God and at peace and harmony with your neighbor, each contributing to the other's welfare, each helping the other. And we both get more than when we try to tear one another down, and each one trying to destroy the other and take from the other. That's what human beings have been doing. Now, that first man had to make a choice. Which way would he go? If he decided to just acquire human acquirable knowledge with just what he had physically,
We're zooming out.
which would limit him to physical materialistic knowledge,
Getting serious.
and resented or resisted the revealed knowledge of God, he was going to die. And that is what man chose. He rejected the revealed knowledge of God.
Oh.
He rejected the knowledge of how to get along with his neighbor. He rejected the knowledge of how to have a right relationship with his maker, his God. And so what did God
We
do?
listened to his
As a
voice
result
for
of
hours.
that, as you read in the 3rd chapter of Genesis, beginning with verse 22, the Lord God said, now lest he put forth his hand also and take of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore, the eternal God sent the man forth from the Garden of Eden. So he drove out the man from the Garden of Eden, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, and a flaming sword was turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. God shut off the Holy Spirit, or the tree of life, from mankind until Christ, the second Adam, should come. Now, we read in the Bible that Christ was called the Lamb of God, slain from the foundation of the world. When Adam made that decision, that was at the time of the foundation of the world, and from that time, it was already made in heaven. The compact that Christ was to be born as a human being, born so he could die, born human as well as God. He was both God and man.
Okay, so that was confirming the idea that Jesus had to come because Adam fucked up and ate from the tree of death instead of the tree of life. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm not following what he's saying.
I know.
I don't know if
I'm
I'm
sitting-
supposed to either.
Right. I think that's what we're realizing is that there's not really a coherent thing here.
No. But
Mhm.
if enough of his followers listen to this and they're just getting little bits of information that make sense, then he's got a mission accomplished.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
People will relate to something, I'm sure.
I
And
mean,
so
that
we gotta-
question right there. How did my dad fall for this shit? Like,
I know.
truly.
I know.
And I think it has a lot to do with buzzwords, right? Like if people grew up kind of going to their mainstream local Baptist, Lutheran, whatever church, like they have some of these words, these like this constellation of word salad like in their head. And it probably has a lot of like, I feel good about myself or I don't feel good about myself attached to it. And this fucker knew that. And so he just came out and with his word salad and like dragged people around by what their like bodies had already internalized about these concepts.
Mm-hmm. And he definitely speaks with a sense of authority. And that drives
Yeah,
people
that's a
too
big
to like,
one.
oh, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So even though it doesn't make sense to me, I'm just going to keep listening to it because I trust that he knows what I'm doing as long as I'm in the right place.
Well, and how many of us worry all the time that we don't actually know things. You know, we're worried like, oh, somebody's always going to be smarter than me. And so then, you know, he talks in a way that it seems like, oh, he really knows. And he's telling me that I'm probably not smart enough to know. And like, my life has shown me that so far. And so you just sit there like, oh, yeah, he's telling me the truth.
All
I
right.
don't have to understand it. I know I'm not smart enough to, but I'm sure going to keep listening and sending in my 30% of my income.
Yeah, gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those of you that were not part of Worldwide Church of God. This is Herbert W. Armstrong, everybody. That cult leader that we grew up with.
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Yeah.
Well, right. Wrong to want to know things.
Yeah.
Well, and it was the woman too that like it was for sure wrong for her to want to know things. And she was the only one dumb enough not to listen to God and to listen to the snake that was apparently telling the truth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But the man went along with it without question. So, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Big dum-dum. Sounds like Trump too. A dum-dum. Yeah.
Hours and being totally tuned out. Yeah.
Absolutely, Rex. That like I'm
Mhm.
doing right now. Just and imagine, yeah, sitting as a child on a cold cement floor listening to this shit and not fidgeting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked.
Yep, that being special.
Yeah.
Gosh. I mean, but isn't that how an abusive relationship works?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like, I'm gonna tell you in so many small ways that you're less than, but then I'm gonna tell you how great you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, metal folding chair, Rex. Yes. Yes, they're metal folding chairs. Fuck yeah.
Why was that so ubiquitous? Maybe that's just the folding chairs that existed in the world then. I don't know.
I
So
don't
funny.
know.
All right, here we go. We can do this.
Born of the human Virgin Mary, but he was a son of God, and he was also God in the human flesh. But he was subject to death. And when he came and lived the perfect life and never committed one sin, and the wages of sin is death, and sin is the transgression of God's law, and God's law is simply the way of love, love to God, love to neighbor. I call it the way of give, and I call the way of sin the way of get. Man wants to get, and he's out to get, and that's what's keeping Christmas alive. The effort of everyone to get and to
And
sell
give.
merchandise. That's the kind of world you live in. Everyone is out to get what he can get from others. Everyone wants what he can enjoy and just what he can accumulate and what he.
Oh, like all of the houses on Millionaires Row in Los Angeles? Oh, like a big pile of Steuben crystal? Oh, like an $8,000 silver ice bucket? Yeah, Herbie, like that, you little fucker.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that was Pasadena, by the way, Pat's Millionaires
What?
Row.
Oh,
Millionaires
Pasadena.
Row that he bought out was Pasadena.
Oh, okay,
Well,
not.
home
What
of
did
the
I
Rose
say?
Bowl.
LA? Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. It's not far from
Yeah.
LA. So
It's a burb.
with the whole campus in Pasadena, absolutely, he bought the whole fucking place out. And I
Exactly.
just wanted to say, how is it possible that someone like Jesus would like never sinned and was perfect his whole life, but yet somehow a baby who hasn't even done shit in their life yet is already a sinner? Can someone explain that?
Because Adam sinned. So it passed it on, right? To all of us.
So wouldn't, if Jesus
Hence
was a human, wouldn't he have had that same
No,
sin?
it was God's sperm that made Jesus. So like it didn't apply. It like must have cleansed the woman with the like cleansing God jizz. Sorry.
Wait, I think jizz is just the hot topic for tonight. That's fine. I'll take it. Yeah.
Washing it
Yes.
white as snow? What? Snow is for Christmas? Here's a good
You
point.
are so correct, Maya, because that's exactly what he did. I
Yeah.
often said that too. Yeah, he said, stop thinking about what you get. You need to give, which means give this guy money.
I mean, right? That is the extreme fuckery going on there. Like, why do you just want to get? Aren't you terrible? No, just give it all to me.
Yeah.
I'm not getting, you're giving. What?
Don't spend
My
all that money at
gosh.
Christmas.
Right.
Spend it for the special
Don't make
music
a
and
college
services
fund for your kids. Don't have life insurance.
I think
Mhm.
insurance was forbidden too. Or insurance, excuse me. Yeah. Life
Yeah.
insurance especially.
Well, sure. Jesus was your life insurance. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you have it. I know, right?
You just sit there and pretend you do know what's going on, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Fun times.
Well, right, because that's your social safety net to
Yeah.
be in the in crowd. Yeah. I mean, this is all just like he hits upon lizard brain stuff.
Yeah.
It's just layers on top of it. Yep, 30%.
Yes, Rex. It was as
Mhm.
high as 30% ties. Absolutely right. Yep.
And special offerings.
Special offerings. Oh, yeah. They would cheer at Feast of Tabernacles for the special music, like give more money. And then they would say how much money they made. So you don't spend it on
They
Christmas. You
did.
spend it on Feast of Tabernacles. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was the name of the game.
Might be true.
Awesome.
Might be true.
You're super fun to hang with, aren't you, Andrew? Oh, yeah.
He can have and what he can enjoy. That's the kind of a world that we live in. Today, the Holy Spirit has been opened, man. You know, it's prophesied in the prophecy of Joel, the 2nd chapter,
Sorry.
and in verse 28, that the days would come when God would pour out his Holy Spirit upon all flesh. And God is calling many to receive the Spirit of God and receive the gift of immortal life today and receive his Holy Spirit, which will open the mind to comprehend spiritual knowledge and the way to get along with your neighbor and the way to have a companionship with God, a relationship with your own maker. God is, in fact, reproducing himself in human beings. He will impart God life to us, and that's only an impregnation. You're not born again.
No.
You've seen programs on this particular program recently.
We don't want it. We don't consent.
We don't consent.
We do not want God's seed.
He was just saying something there that made me think of like, no wonder we were like the relationship thing. I don't know if the evangelical movement was happening where they were like really pushing the it's not a religion, it's a relationship thing yet. But like, did you hear him? He's talking about like having the relationship with the great creator God or whatever.
Yep.
So like, no wonder we were kind of ready to hear that in evangelicalism when they were talking about a little bit nicer God.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Than
Made us
asshole
vulnerable to
Yahweh.
evangelicalism. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Or what it is to be born again. Very few understand that. We can be begotten now in this life.
Begotten.
If you want to know, right in for our free booklet, what do you mean born again?
There you
Only
go.
Jesus Christ has ever been really born again. And he had never sinned. He didn't even need to die, but he died for you and for me. He was
Okay.
born again by a resurrection from the dead. And that's the only way you can be born again.
And
is
Radio
by a
Church of God
resurrection
began
from
in
the dead.
1933. Yeah. That makes
Okay,
sense.
the only way he
I
said the
want you
only
to
way you can be
understand this
born
thing.
again is
The first
resurrection from the dead. So I think that's him being like, all of this born again evangelical stuff is bullshit because you're trying to pretend you're born again by becoming a Christian, but I know that you're born again when you're part of the resurrection, right?
Well, yeah, he doesn't want his members or other people to go to these other mainstream churches like evangelicalism. He wants to keep them where they're at.
Right, because for the first few decades of his church, he was like really anti-Catholic. But then we've noticed when he got to the 80s here, he was more like anti-evangelical.
Yeah. You go
Kinda
after whoever is the other
Yep.
at the time.
Well, whoever he saw as his competitor, right? Because
Mhm.
if this was a whole business thing, like that would have
Yeah.
been how he
Mhm.
did that. Yeah. I think this is very interesting, though. The
Yeah.
relationship with Jesus, 1930s, fascinating.
Yeah.
I will have to look into that.
Again, Radio Church of God, when he started this, that was 1933. So there
Oh.
you go.
So he was just playing the same game his whole life.
Mm.
Mhm.
Trees! Ah!
Hi, trees.
Thought stopping confusion. Absolutely. That's the fucking goal. Yeah.
Well, that should be our goal, but I think his goal was creating confusion because then it cracked brains and he could own them.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating watching all this shit as an adult, you know?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Oh, just a few more minutes. I think we
Yep.
can get through it all tonight. Sure.
Mm-hmm. People are still hanging with us, so all right.
All right.
And
we're
made the
just going.
decision to go by physical acquired knowledge, humanly materialistic acquired knowledge. Man has done the thing that seemed right in his own eyes.
Oh, there's that line.
Man has devised his own kind of governments. Man has devised his own ideas of what is right and wrong. Man
Yep.
doesn't know right from wrong. He only thinks he does.
Okay.
It is God's law, his spiritual law, that tells us what is right and what.
Nancy, what's spiritual?
How many times have I said, I don't know what the fuck that means, despite how many definitions people have given me? What does spiritual mean?
So our governments and laws that we have are not real, are not good. We don't know. But the spiritual laws, that's the good stuff. But
And
we don't know what spiritual actually means.
But the Holy Spirit is supposed to guide us to the spiritual, right?
Well, yeah.
How do we know if the Holy Spirit is guiding us or Satan is just manipulating us?
I mean, great point. How do we have the Spirit of God? Maybe we should keep listening to Armstrong and find out.
Wait, so if I think I believe in a God, but I'm not supposed to lean on my own understanding, so is that my own understanding that's leading me to believe in a God, so I am an atheist? Oh, okay. I'll go with that. Let's roll it.
I totally agree. Right. He kind of brought it back to Christmas when he mentioned the everyone's into really like getting more stuff because that's what Christmas is. And he compared that to wanting more knowledge from the tree, I think. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's stretching. Right. Hey, Joe. Still here. Awesome.
Oh yeah, it's late over there by you.
Oh yeah.
You
It's
took a nap?
11:30 here in Illinois.
I think you mean nap.
Mm.
I hope you're getting better sleep these days, Joe. Sleep's so
Yeah.
important.
Is wrong. And sin is the transgression of that law. And the law is spiritual, not physical. The law of God doesn't tell you how to build an airplane. It doesn't tell you how to build or operate an automobile. Man can learn that without the Spirit of God, but he can't learn how to get along with his neighbor, husband and wife to get along together, and all of the other things, and nation to get along with nation. And we simply do not do it.
I'm getting dizzy
Now,
watching
Christmas is one of the things that men have invented. By their own acquired knowledge, man leaning to his own understanding, trying to create his own ideas of life. You would be surprised. I want to again offer you this booklet, The Plain Truth About Christmas. The Plain Truth About Christmas. And it will give you facts that I don't have time to give you here, and it would be rather boring to give you all of the facts from encyclopedias, from histories and all that sort of thing, but they're
No, that's
facts
the Bible.
and not superstitions and not ideas, but actual facts. There's another booklet that I
Not
mentioned recently.
You know what, though? What he's talking about is his Truth About Christmas booklet. Like, it might be, because that's where he shows you how all of our Christmas traditions come from pagan things and not from anything like, you know, first century biblical in any way.
Yeah.
So, you know, facts, maybe. But this is why one of the promos I put out, I was saying that what he actually did was he debunked a whole bunch of Christian mythology, right? Like the stuff that wasn't in the Bible, like obviously he made up things too, but the stuff that wasn't in the Bible, like heaven and hell, you know, all of those things that are like deeply a part of modern Christianity that just aren't in the Bible. He loved pointing that stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Faith allows the fruits of deception to be God, Lord, religion, Jesus.
Mhm.
Yep. That is true. Okay. A little more? Can we take
Sure.
it?
Well, might as well.
That I would like you to have, and I mentioned a few things about that, and the two trees, the tree of life and the tree of death. That's a booklet called Never Before Understood.
Here we
Why
go.
humanity cannot solve its problems or its evils. People
Dumb
cannot
fucking
solve
humans.
their problems, their evils, and there's a reason. Never before understood. No one has ever understood that truth before. It's an amazing, eye-opening booklet. I ask you to write for those booklets, and also we would like to give you a
Profound.
subscription to the Plain Truth magazine, one of the world's great mass circulation magazines,
Got all that
with a
weaponry on the
circulation
front there.
of around 4 million subscribers that have subscribed on their own initiative because they want the magazine and resubscribe. Now, in the December number, I hope that you can get that number, is an article, Christmas 2,000 years before Christ. Christmas 2,000 years before Christ. There's an article on Christmas in this December 1981 number of the Plain Truth, just out as I have it now, and you may hear this a little later.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
Dude.
Where are you? Oh, are you in the UK? I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Great times. Thank you for all your comments.
Thank you, Demon Outcast. Wonderful comments tonight. Appreciate you.
I'll take that.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Depends on what you do in that bed. Sleep. Okay. All right.
Whatever you want, because you're an autonomous individual.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yay.
Yeah, the Plain Truth magazines. You know, they were just kind of ubiquitous in my childhood, so they didn't really make me mad. But now, hearing all the stories of some of the people that we've talked to through the show, in fact, I think even JJ, who's one of our mods, and I think JJ, you talked about going with your grandmother to restock the Plain Truth at the store. I mean, you know, like Armstrong got his minions to do this. It wasn't, man, they had it all worked out. They just really did.
Yeah. My gosh,
Mhm.
Joe, that's so funny. The plain truth, the history of corn. I mean, God created it. What more do you need to know, right?
Exactly.
You got some word
Actually, isn't
salad
that
to go with your corn.
the corn one? That kind of goes along with the, what is it, the Kirk Cameron and Ray Comfort, the whole like God made the banana to fit the human hand and stuff,
No.
where like, no, actually humans like very specifically cultivated the banana. And the same with corn. Corn was a grass that had like 3 tiny little kernels on it, and we made it what it is.
I mean, but then people came back with that Ray Comfort video. Yeah, the banana, sure, that works great, but what about a grapefruit? I mean, what the fuck? This
Right?
horrible, you can't even peel it with your hands, and then when you
Mm-hmm.
dive in with a spoon, it always somehow squirts in your eyeball. Come on. No, yeah, anything Kurt Cameron is
Mm-hmm.
embarrassing as shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Bong Holio.
JJ says they have that issue.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, yes. And going with your grandmother. So
yeah, you took
proud.
pride in it, huh? Serving the true church.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, JJ. Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's cute, Devie. Yay. Really cuddly. Yay. Have fun.
funny.
Yay.
Exactly. A crack team of meemaws. Is that a Sheldon reference? I think that's a Sheldon reference.
It should be. I mean, yeah, he always
Mhm.
called it Meemaw. Yeah.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah,
the
so
epitome
embarrassing.
of embarrassment. Yeah.
He and his wife were in that Focus on the Family, Be Afraid of Sex video.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, him and his wife are in that one too.
That's right. Oh my gosh, I forgot about his friend Boner. Seriously. So great.
There was really a dude named Boner on Growing Pains.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. I spent 2 summers, it's totally random, sorry. I spent 2 summers working at Hillshire Farms.
Working
Packaging
with sausage
sausages.
sets.
Yes, working with so many pounds of sausages. And
Good story.
and I remember some kids in town because it was like New London, Wisconsin, like tiny town.
Yeah.
And so there's a ton of people that worked at Hillshire Farm there.
Mm.
And I remember a kid just being like, I'm going to be a boner when I grow up. And he thought he was so funny because there was a job where you would like cut the bone out of a like pig thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Lots of good stories from working at a meat packing plant,
Love it.
let me tell you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Boner was a bad influence. I mean, as the name would suggest, you can't expect to name your kid. I guess it was a nickname, but you can't expect to name your friend or your kid Boner and not have them turn out to be kind of a fuck up. Just saying.
Exactly. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any Beavis and Butthead fans here? Woo! I know I am. Yeah. TP for the
Mhm.
bunghole.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I didn't do that one, did I?
Now you're
Oh yeah, that's because you were shouting about Bungholio earlier.
Bungholio or cornholio. Yeah.
Ah.
I
Yes.
love talking about, huh?
Wise words there, Joe. Wise words.
I love talking about things like cornholes when we're looking at Herbert W. Armstrong's face.
You've been a boner? Like at a meat plant? I guess I've cut bones out of like chicken thighs and stuff. I guess I'm a boner too.
Packer at a fudge factory.
But write in for it, and we'll send you this issue of The Plain Truth and also the booklet, The Plain Truth About Christmas, and also this booklet, Never Before Understood Why
Happens to the
Humanity
best of us,
Cannot
trees.
Solve Its Evils, its problems. You've never read a booklet like it. You've never read The Truth About Christmas that I know of. I don't know of anyone else that has published it. It will open your eyes. Are you afraid of the truth? Well, write in and get it.
Oh dear,
Do
that
with
evil
whatever you
smile.
decide to do with it, that's up to
Are
you.
you afraid of the truth?
I just want to give you the facts. I just want to give you the truth. I'm not trying to tell you what to do.
Oh, okay.
I'm not asking you
Ooh,
for
we're zooming
money.
in.
I'm asking you to just receive. I want to give,
Oh
not
God,
get.
no.
I would like to give you these booklets.
His
I do
tactics
not
are
want to receive what you
so
have to give.
manipulative.
It's gross. Hey, solidarity with working at meat plants. Yes, this is serious now. I know. I feel like Armstrong just got really,
Dark.
really intense about this. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Like he's almost daring us. Like, I dare you to
don't you want
not
to know? I bet you
get
will.
this free book. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, you're so right. He wants us to get it.
Yeah.
But you'll have to write in and get it. I think that was even a tactic, right? Like, yes, the plain truth was out there to just pick up for free, but that whole like writing in thing, it like gets a commitment out of people, you know? Like,
Well, not only
they've
that,
spent time on that. It's kind of like when I was doing design work, if you were going to design a high-end store, what you did is you made sure that the doors, it had doors, not just wide open, and you had the letters really small. So like if you go through those doors, not just like the front of a mall store, you know, if you go through those doors and it closes behind you, there's like a psychological thing that makes you feel like, oh, now I'm in and I'm committed and I'm going to have to buy something. I'm serious. It's part of theory. It's the same thing he's doing.
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna add too that like as soon as you write into the place, then they have your address and maybe email and phone number. I think there was a like a sheet that you filled out. So yeah, newsletters and all that.
I mean, isn't that the same as going to somebody's website and like, you know, put in your email and we'll send you this free download. Then you're in our email list forever and we own you. But that, like when I've been to conferences and stuff, that's what they talk about is like building your email list is like the biggest, most important thing because no one can take that away from you where like platforms can shut down and everything like that. Yeah. It's a whole deal. But yeah, somebody else. What are you saying here, Rex? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's what they do.
And Armstrong was. Yeah, Nancy did a whole thing looking at that. And he figured out what to say. What was it? He was advertising apartments for rent or something. And he, instead of just giving the facts, he like floweried it up to get people to move in. Yeah. This is such a great point, Joe. I'm in and committed. And like, yeah, that is where you get trapped for sure.
I like that. Committed never ends well. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
And there's no
maybe that we need to maintain our autonomy at all times.
Yes. Yes.
No subscription price, incidentally, for the Plain Truth magazine.
Of course
it's
not.
one of the world's great mass circulation magazines. It's published in 5 different languages and is circulated worldwide. Now, all you do, write for this and ask for this booklet on Christmas, The Plain Truth. Also, the booklet, Never Before Understood.
There's your Christmas gifts.
Now, just send your requests to me, Herbert W. Armstrong, Pasadena, California, 91123. Herbert W. Armstrong, Pasadena, California, 91123. Or
always
remember to go to the telephone right now and save writing a letter. A toll-free call. The call is free. Area code 800, then 423-4444. Now jot that down, go to the telephone immediately before you do anything else, and call area code 800.
Sorry, I can't do it yet. I got to take a shit first.
423-4444.
Then I'll call.
Or for those in California, Alaska, and Hawaii, you call collect. We'll pay for the call. 213.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Armstrong. You pay for the call. See how generous he is? Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by this. The people craving commitment. I mean, Joe, I think about that too, kind of like the idea of, it makes people feel safe. Like if they're committed to something and they can trust that thing is committed back to them, like that's a little bit of safety. I mean, it's kind of what we're having to convince ourselves of to feel safe, but there it is.
Yeah.
Let's work on providing more healthy places to commit ourselves to.
Yeah, it really depends what you commit. Yeah, exactly. Free reading material. That was his gig. That was his gig. Don't you want to know the truth, Jason? Come on. You know you want to. I'm not saying you're an evil person, but give your seed. Exactly. Toilet reading. Perfect titles for shitting. Exactly. It's perfect. Hey, we were speaking about TP for your bunghole.
That's right.
There it is.
I actually think, I don't know how early he started sending out his literature, but it wouldn't surprise me if people were like, excellent, now I can put that in my outhouse. Because like our dad lived in a house without indoor plumbing into the 60s. So like people maybe were still, running out of their Sears catalog and using the Plain Truth magazine to wipe their bungholes. So
yeah,
I'm sure it happened.
Yeah, I think our parents still have every copy of all this crap that they got over the years. Because our parents are
lot of it.
hoarders. They probably have boxes of this shit. Just collecting dust in a corner somewhere. How people want it, yeah.
That is worth looking into.
Well,
Because if we are doing things that can meet people's needs, like whatever that need is that needs that commitment thing, if we can help them meet that needs in a way that's healthy, like we're gonna be winning.
Winning, winning, we can't stop winning. So much winning. But wait, there's more.
Joe, you and I are gonna have to talk about this. I'm curious about more.
Oh yeah. If anyone hasn't seen it, Joe on the Kentucky Atheist, we did interview him recently, and that interview is making a killing, dude.
And we've been over there.
Yes, Beavis and Butthead.
God, why do I love Beavis and Butthead so much still? It's terrible.
Because it's fucking amazing. It was the best shit of the 90s.
Oh, one church made a mistake advertising on the TV at a bar. Oh, you called the number. Excellent.
I would have loved to hear that conversation. Tell me you were drunk when you called them.
Aw. Oh, really, Joe? When we were on your show? That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's fucking awesome, Joe. That's great.
That is fucking awesome. All right, let's hear the outro, and then we can bullshit as long as we want.
577
All right.
5555.
It's fine.
Now
just keep
that
talking.
is collect 213 577 5555. So until
get a
next
happy
time,
ending?
this is Herbert W. Armstrong. Goodbye, friends.
And there's Pasadena.
There's his
For the free
ambassador.
literature offered on this program, write Herbert W. Armstrong, Pasadena, California, 91123. In Canada, Box 44, Vancouver,
I'll just
BC.
let it play, but that's
Or
it,
in the
guys.
continental United States, you may call this toll-free number, 800-423-4444. In California, Alaska, and Hawaii,
What
call
year was
collect
that?
213-577-5555. If the lines are busy, please try again.
He's pretty old. It's
The
probably
preceding program and all
early 80s,
literature
maybe.
were produced by the Worldwide Church of God.
There we go. Da 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 da.
All right.
See, let's put it
Good
in
shit.
Good.
Like literal shit.
Right. Exactly.
It was great.
Oh, hey, Jason Freer got it for us. 1981 was that one. I was going to say it looked a little older than the last one we did, which was 83. 83.
Wait, did Herbie die in 83 or was it 86?
86.
It was 86.
I think he was like 93 and he died in 86, something like that.
Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he made it in 94. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucked with them all.
Perfect. So funny.
Get drunk and call televangelists.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
Ryan.
yeah.
Did I see you this whole show? I don't think I did.
I
Thank you
don't think so, but we
for
saw
the
you
info.
now. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Joe. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for joining us, you guys. This was fun. Yeah,
It
he
was
never did
fun.
fucking tell us about Christmas, did he? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now we got it. You have to read the booklet in order to understand how all of that word shit pertains to Christmas.
Right. So make people feel a way about some Adam and Eve stuff and how sinful people are, and then talk a little bit about Jesus and stuff that uses words like spiritual soul and God family a whole bunch.
And the
then
tree of
people will
good, the
feel
tree of
like,
evil.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Fun times. All right. So we'll be back in a couple weeks for another live stream on cult reaction. Hey.
Joe. You're welcome, buddy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Great sense of
Well,
humor.
Rex, we are glad
Everyone
you found
tonight.
us too. Good times.
It's always so much fun to have both atheists in the comments as well as people who were like former WCG. We get like the best of both worlds, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People that remember.
Indeed.
Yes. Good night to you too, Andrew.
Well,
Thanks,
I think we
everyone.
did it.
Okay, well, I'm
Mhm.
tired as shit now.
I know. Thanks, y'all, for hanging out, including you, Nancy. Did we keep you up too far past your bedtime?
No, it's midnight here in central Illinois, so it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
No, I didn't sleep well last night, though, because, yeah, get this. You know what I did last night? I threw out my back from carrying a toilet. Of all things, a toilet. So the hubby and I just bought like a third investment property, and we bought a toilet from Menards of all the weird fucking things to throw out your back. And I already had a bad back to begin with, and then here I am trying to lift the toilet, and I felt something pop in my back. It was
Oh, no.
And so I was in so much pain last night, I couldn't sleep. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sleeping tonight. Yay. That's shitty. Yeah, everything's just shitty the last couple days, right? And then we just watched all that shit come out of that man's mouth.
I know. I was like, the toilet was appropriate for all that.
I know. It was, yeah. Yeah, there's something to be said. All right, good night, everyone. This
Okay,
was
thanks for
great.
hanging with us. That was
Yeah.
kind of long and fun.
Hopefully
All right.
everyone got something out of it. It was just fun bullshit tonight and watching Herbie. It was great.
Oh.
Thanks, Rex. Thanks, JJ. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, love. I love you, pets.
Love you too, Nance. Bye.
This was fun.
Good
All
night.
right.
Thank you all for being here. Oh, Aunt, you were still there. Great.
Oh,
Okay.
yes. Night all. Yay, night.
Good night. Okay.
All right.
I don't know why I keep putting them up there. It's just so fun because I like you all.
It is
Okay.
fun to say goodbye to each and every one of you. Love you all so much. All right.
I know. So much fun to hang out. Okay. Mwah.
Yeah.
Good night.